by taking steroids, you minimize the function and the vitality of your mitochondria because steroids increase oxidative stress. So what you need to do is, right now what I like is high dose of growth hormone on weaker body parts. So let's say I want to bring up my legs, I do I use post-leg day before that. Now what kind of look are you going for? Some people do very well on a high dose masteron, it doesn't make them flat. And other people just get super flat on it. They would rather do on moderate dose Windstroke. That really brings out the separation. Other guys like to train super heavy. I don't like oral so much anymore during contest prep, maybe the last couple of days. Super draw, for example, but everything can be injected where you will not stay healthy during prep, but you can stay as healthy as possible. You have health supplements for that and health ancillaries and controlling your estrogen, controlling your oxidative stress, controlling your digestion, and making sure your mitochondria are still firing. Methylene blue, MOTS-C, SS31, I think is very beneficial. I just prepared for the SS31. There's a lot of mitochondria in your kidneys. SS31 accumulates predominantly in the kidneys. Where do bodybuilders have problems? In their kidneys. Trenbolone, kidney toxic. Boldenone, kidney toxic, certainly proven with scientific evidence. The animals are, to a certain extent.
Trenbolone isn't necessarily directly kidney toxic, though, right?
No, it's true. Technically, you should be able to take boldenone, especially if you combine it with SS31. The protective dose is 5 to 10 milligrams, and the reversal dose is 20 to 40 milligrams. And they found out in a rodent model that HCG plus penis pumping increases the size of the penis more than HCG alone and penis pumping alone. And then Bathmate reached out, say, we really liked your deep dive. Would you like a Bathmate? I was like, yeah, sure. I gained more than an inch in length.
Oh my God, dude.
And an inch in girth. My wife was not happy. Man, injectable white I love it. It's shit. It's the same hardness, same strength, same fullness, same density as Superdrol, but none of the CNS destruction or the liver destruction. So I haven't run Superdrol since. I took oral epicatogen and I got some response out of it, some anabolism. That raised my CRP to 27.
How have you been? How's everything with the daughter?
Yeah, life's good, man. I'm full-time daddying, so less work, more daddying. It's a lot of fun. So I mostly do diaper changes and bottle feeding and trying to teach my daughter about life through the little picture books. You know, which animal is what.
Which animal is what is fire?
It's funny, we get one of those picture books and then you have like a chicken and a duck through various phases, or a male or female. So you try to read that to her. So it's a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it blows my mind now.
What, to be a daddy?
Yeah.
It's good. It's chill. It just means that you're getting old.
Yeah.
Especially when none of your friends have children. I mean, I was the last. Like everybody I know has kids, besides the younger generation. But that's okay. I waited till I was 40 and was financially secure. And now I don't have to work.
Have you always wanted children?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Since I was like 20 years old, man.
Wow.
Yeah, I always wanted kids. I just wanted to be in a place where I was financially secure, where I could just take the time to be present because, you know, many parents are not really present.
Right.
They got to work or two parents work and they can't really, take care of the baby properly. And I have to send them to daycare. And that's the last thing I want. I just want to be there 24/7. When daddy is needed, I'm there. And so we waited until I was about 40 and then we started. Now at 42, I have one kid and we're going to try for the second one soon.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I just work like 2 hours a day, 4 hours a day.
You going to do anything to try to make sure it's a boy?
Well, we did IVF, so the boy embryo is ready.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is implant, and then fingers crossed it nestles or implants. And then it's just waiting 9 months. Yeah, with the IVF specialist, the fertility specialist, I have full confidence that it's going to implant. And otherwise, we have to do another round of egg retrieval, which is, brutal.
I have no clue how any of that works, but isn't that crazy that you can do that these days?
Technology is great. You can, turn yourself into a woman. You can turn yourself into a bodybuilder. You can create new life, all with hormones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then especially the fertility specialists, they're so in tune with how that needs to be done. So when the protocol was written out, I was like, I think this guy is pulling out all the magic tricks.
You can also destroy yourself with hormones.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I saw at the expo.
Wait, tell me about it.
Yeah, so at this expo, this was the biggest expo, right? The Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
Man, there were so many people. And then, of course, it's my first Arnold Classic, so I can't really compare, but I can compare it to the Olympia. It felt like twice as busy. And I felt like half the people there were kids on steroids or peptides. Damn. That was not where I wanted my steroid education to go.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of kids that came to the booth, right? The Omega Aminos booth that I was working for. And they're all like sub 21, which is, I think, a little bit early to start. But hey, if you want to get it, go get it. But they're doing a lot of things wrong, and they don't look like they should be touching steroids to begin with because they're not at that size.
I have a question for you, though. Do you think that they're just a lot more open about it now versus, say, 15 years ago when people just didn't want to talk about it?
Kids were using, but they weren't talking about it. Yeah, could be. But it's very easy to recognize the puffy faces and the acne and the, it's just easy to see. It's easy to see who's on steroids. I think a little bit more warped face, a little bit of side effects that happens when you're younger. Your diet is probably not dialed in. So I remember going to school and there were kids like 15, 16 years old taking their dad's Dianabol and being jacked and having a puffy face and the acne to match. But that's only maybe 1 or 2 kids out of your school. But now, of course, you're at the Arnold Classic, so everybody there is like there for the fitness industry. But it felt like a lot of adolescents that were taking steroids too early. I was a little bit shocked. Like there was a guy 17 years old and his dad put him on TRT. Like how were your levels? Like 650 nanograms per deciliter. So you don't need TRT. What are you doing?
His dad put him on TRT. Why? Do you know?
I don't know, dude.
He didn't say anything?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm fully in support. He wants to turn pro. I'm like, you're 17, man. Like, okay, Lee Priest knew he wanted to turn pro, right? His mom was a bodybuilder, so at least he got some good guidance. I think Jay Cutler started at 18 and started saucing right away, or at least based on the pictures he posted from 18 years old. But those are the exceptions, not the norm. So I found it a little bit, I don't know, a little bit concerning, to be honest.
Yeah.
But that's talking as a parent that's 40 years old, over 40 with a daughter. So I don't know, maybe I'll get my due diligence when she turns 15 and then she's like, Daddy, I want to be a bikini competitor.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, a lot of young kids on whatever they can get their hands on, but not looking the part.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a bit weird to see.
I'm going to tell my kid that he can't take steroids. It's all for me.
Yeah, I mean,
just so he jumps on it early.
If my son wants to take steroids at 21 after 5 years of natural bodybuilding, go for it. I'll guide him through it, but he has to lay the foundation first and see how far he can take it without drugs. And if he wants to start at 26, all the better.
Mm.
If he wants to make a career out of it and he really has good genetics like my wife, maybe a little bit earlier, but it will be done under my guidance.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's got, one of the best to do it for him. But then all his friends will want to jump on.
Do you feel like you felt this before you had a daughter still? Or was your perspective a little different?
No, but I mean, I've only gone to the Mr. Olympia. You don't see so many young guys there because I think Vegas is a little bit more expensive.
Oh, this is your first time at the Arnold?
Yeah, first time to meet the Arnold. Yeah,
that's
first time.
That's actually surprising to me. I didn't know that. For some reason, I felt like
it's 7 hours extra from Thailand. So the Arnold is like 20, or the Mr. Olympia is 23 hours flying, and then going to Columbus, Ohio is another 7 hours.
30,
dude.
What?
Yeah, I live far.
How many layovers did you have?
I had 2, Japan and what is it, Chicago.
And is it 2 for on the way to the Olympia too?
No, so that's 24, 23 hours. Yeah, so that's easier. Like when you flew to Thailand, it was what, 23 hours from LA to South Korea.
Kind of just blocked it out of my mind, to be honest. I don't remember.
Yeah, the Benadryl made me forget also. I slept most of the way though. I slept like 12 hours. So Bangkok to Japan is 6. I think I slept 5. And I slept another 8 or 9 hours on the way from Japan to Chicago.
Yeah.
Thank God for Benadryl.
And then we did have a really exhausting weekend.
Yeah.
It was a lot.
I survived.
Yeah. Arnold Saturday was insane though. Like they sold that. Apparently it was the most sold out it's ever been. I don't even know what most sold out means. But
it felt like there was lines everywhere and you could barely walk through the expo.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and I know the Young LA booth and the Grill of Mind booth and the Jim Reaper's booth. And then a couple athletes had their own line, right? Like Larry Wheels was maybe 1 or 2 rows behind us and his whole line looped around our booth. So we couldn't get any people in. Hey, that's how it goes, man. It was wild.
So hard to be at the Young LA booth this year.
Yeah.
It almost didn't even make sense. I was just like standing in this crowd of people. And like sometimes people are trying to find you, but it's just like kind of almost impossible.
It's impossible. You either need to be stationary or you need to meet somebody where, so they meet me at usually with the festivals, right? You meet me at 12 at this stadium. You need to do the same to boost. It felt just as busy as a festival, right? Like the dance festivals. That's just as busy, close to the DJ. That's what it felt like.
Like right at the stage.
Trying to go in between people. You got your glass up
Trying to get to the rail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a lot of experience. It was easy for me.
I know, man.
What's up, homies? I'm back at my new place now in Vegas, and we just came out with some new shirts for the Trensparent merch. None of the basic shit. Now we got some new sick styles, a little bit of a metal and rock inspired, some other shit, you know, and then also a bunch of new colors. So you guys want to check that out on the site? That's www.icons, spelled AYKONS, icons.com/Nile. That'll automatically apply the Nile discount code and get you right to the site where we have the new designs up. And some of the stuff like the cutoff are 380 GSM French terry cotton. So pretty high quality stuff that were helped design by my boy Dion, one of my best friends in the world. This is the guy that he and I went through a lot in life in the last decade as our best friend Ryan passed away, and I'm really happy that I got to do this with him. But anyways, this is out. So if you guys ever need anything or you have any complaints, I'm fucking here. Just let me know, and let's ride this shit out and grab life by the balls, baby. Peace. I had a random question, honestly. This was actually brought up because I was talking to Joe. You know Joe Sullivan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's also here, like in Vegas.
Record powerlifter and
I know.
coach.
Yeah.
He was discussing, I don't know why we were just bringing this up for prep, but he was discussing how the client next to him, they had gotten him to lose like 20 pounds. It was just like an immense drop in water weight. But
the night before, 20 pounds.
It wasn't just the night before. I don't remember the specifics, so I can't really relay it. But I do know that it was interesting because his water manipulation was about the same as most bodybuilding coaches, except that instead there was an extra step in which he uses distilled water. Okay. So it was like taper down the water. Yeah, I think it was tapering down the water, and I'm not sure if they tapered down the salt, but then they replaced the water with distilled water.
Yeah,
and then
I think it's unnecessary.
You think so?
It's the same as not taking any toothpaste because it has a little bit of sodium in it. That's overkill, dude. That's overkill, unless you're fat and you need to do drastic measures. But switching from regular water or mineral water even to distilled water, I think it's completely unnecessary.
So that seems to only make sense then in a powerlifting setting when they're really trying to push down to make that weight count.
I think his coach might want to reconsider how to drop water.
Well, this for powerlifting, not for bodybuilding.
So even to make a weight class, you need to drop weight, right? Okay, 20 pounds to fit into a weight class. You might as well just take a diuretic and not eat for a while. But the distilled water is going to be, I don't know, 1% difference. So that's why.
I see.
0.2 pounds.
I wonder if I don't remember if they recalled. I don't remember if they were saying
maybe they said distilled water as a synonym for injectable Lasix. That injectable
Lasix.
Yeah. So I said distilled water, but what I meant was 2 cc's injectable Lasix IV, and then pissing up a storm, in the toilet.
That's wild.
Yeah. I lost all my electrolytes because of distilled water.
It is interesting though. They in powerlifting they utilize how many fucking IV bags of electrolytes and hydration, like 2 IV bags. Yeah. Went into each arm afterwards to replenish in time before
so in that case they probably did some diuretic protocol. It's and of course they're eating a lot of food to restore the glycogen, and they don't mind getting bloated, so they might use a plasma expander as well, like albumin IV drips with electrolytes and maybe vitamins if they want to, like a Myers cocktail. Yeah. But I think if you can drop so much weight, it means you're just too fat, because the weight is coming either from water retention in the adipose tissue or a little bit of glycogen. But you could also stay a little bit leaner and not have to drop so much weight, and actually don't have to undergo this dramatic weight loss, which also reduces your performance. That's I think a problem with most powerlifters or even MMA, where they just do these dramatic weight cuts and then it cuts their performance in half, and then they don't get their trophy or win the class or set a PR. I think the guys that stay leaner and closer to the weight class can actually perform better.
Okay. Yeah. So focus a little bit more on like a calorie deficit while they're preparing.
Yeah, and just not get obese. Maybe if you want to do the highest weight class, so the super heavyweights, okay, you need to get obese from a bodybuilder perspective. Get the leverages, right? Get the padding, so you can actually lean on the fat tissue that you have and drive out of the hole. But I don't know. It's been a while since I've really looked into the powerlifting side of things and how to prepare for that.
Okay.
But yeah, distilled water, I think, is overkill for any sport.
All right. I just had to ask because I was curious. But by the way, guys, I feel like you should all know that Steve said that I look bigger before this pod started.
Yeah, you look gigantic, dude. So the last time we did a podcast was 3 years ago in LA. And then you came to Thailand. I didn't see you there. I saw you at the Olympia real briefly. And then I saw you this time, like, Jesus Christ, look like you ate yourself.
Do you think I really look bigger than the Olympia?
Yeah.
Actually?
Yeah. It's been 1.5 years since I saw you, man.
Wait, that was 1.5. Oh, the Olympia.
Yeah, I wasn't there last year.
Was I even fucking? Yeah, I was there.
And of course, on YouTube or Instagram, it looks are deceiving, right? So you got your gym pictures, and you're like, oh, holy shit. And then your training pictures, like, oh, and real life pictures, okay. And then in real life, it looks so much more impressive.
Damn, that's nice.
So
man.
good stuff. I mean, how much weight did you gain?
My ego's been really boosted this weekend at the Arnold, man.
That's why you got to go out into the public and talk with the fans, because I got my ego stroked quite a bit at the Expo. But
I really didn't think my upper body grew very much this last year, but
really,
I was wearing pants the whole time, and a lot of people were saying that I look so much bigger, which I was just like,
you don't see it.
I was like 4 weeks into cycle.
The only thing you see is when you get smaller.
Oh yeah. I saw that for sure.
When you come off to like you were TRT for a while,
12 weeks off cycle,
and you're like, I don't know if this is going in the right direction. You got to clean out a little bit, right? Yeah, I've been on TRT now for 3 months, 4 months, and I feel small.
I tell people this a lot because I wanted to experiment with it, just because of the last couple of years of people coming on the podcast relaying their own experiences with having long off cycles, or at least a decent amount of time for quote unquote health phase or off cycle, whatever you want to. Some people hate calling it a health phase. So you can
blast extra long and extra hard.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think me staying on for 2 years was just
you're on for 2 years.
I was on for 1.5 to 2 years straight. Yeah.
That's more than 500 milligrams.
Yeah, it was definitely more than 500 milligrams. Because what happened was Patrick and I were going to do a health phase. We decided to experiment with a rebound just because I told him I was curious how a rebound would work, and if it would work well. And I think it will, but that's only if, like, you're like Andy Paredes, who they actually took a health phase in between shows. So then by the time that not only was his blood work like perfect, but also like how long had he been on cycle since he had that last health phase? It was literally probably like 12 weeks or something, maybe.
Yeah, and then if there's 1 or 2 years in between, then you're pretty much due.
Yeah,
you can't be on high dosages of gear super long. I think 2 years is pretty much the max.
Yeah, I feel like my responsiveness like dropped pretty significantly. Like I don't think the rebound was nearly as effective as it would have been.
Yeah.
I just really didn't gain that much of my stage weight, and the look was different, of course. But
you see what it did for Ian. Do you see Ian Vaillere?
Oh, he's looking massive.
It's like insane.
Yeah, he's looking really big.
His dosages, from what I understand, they're pretty lightweight.
Seth is looking massive too.
Seth is looking massive also, yeah.
Right.
So that's why I cruised for about 4 to 5 months. And the other 7 months I sauce up. And then I slowly increase the dosages. So you go from 200, 250 tests to 500 and then 750. And then at a gram, we can call it a blast. Under a gram is kind of like child's play. It's like a beginner cycle. For my size and my experience, it's like a beginner cycle. Then over a gram, it starts to get unhealthy. And so you might be on a gram or 1.5 grams for 2 or 3 months. So 2 or 3 months out of the year, it's a high dose. And the rest of the time, it's either cruising or a moderate cycle. I think that's pretty doable. Yeah, but 2 years on two, I've done, I think the longest I've been on 1.5 grams of gear is maybe 6 to 9 months. And then I pushed it to 2.5 grams. Then I felt a bit off.
Yeah. What did off feel like?
I just feel irritable and toxic, and everything revolves around training because, I mean, you're shooting up the whole day, right?
Yeah.
Shooting fucking steroids the whole day and peptides and whatnot. So everything revolves around that. And after a while, you just feel like you're in your own prison where you get tortured with injections.
Yeah.
And then you look at your blood work like, creatinine is slowly coming up. And cystatin C is slowly coming up. And liver enzymes and lipids are skewing. After a while, I just don't feel comfortable with the blood work anymore. It's like, okay, cruising time. So last year I wanted to push until maybe the end of the year, Christmas. And then after, or 3 weeks before Christmas, it was like, you know what? I'm done. I did my blood work. It looked okay, not horrendous, but I was just over it. So I started my cruise early. And I'll start again in May. Because then it slowly starts to get less hot in Thailand. And you don't want to be 260 pounds in Thailand when it's hot. That's not a good idea.
Yeah, I heard. I heard bad things.
Idea. How was your Thailand experience?
Absolutely insane.
Yeah.
And perfect.
2 weeks, right?
2 weeks.
Yeah.
I tried to go to the pharmacies and see if I could find some stuff, but
In Phuket? Yeah.
it wasn't successful.
There's a couple of pharmacies there, but it keeps changing. So you have to ask around in the gyms. I haven't been there since 2018, I think. So I have no idea which pharmacies to go to, besides the ones that are close to the gym. There must be a couple ones. There used to be a very big one on Walking Street, Patong Walking Street. But I think it got sold into a shoe shop or something. So
Which one's the street that has it's like the red light district?
that's Walking Street. Patong,
yeah, right?
that's where
Okay,
all the
that's what I
nightclubs up. You got Illusion and a boatload of go-go bars and side alleys and Ladyboy Street and
yeah, lots.
Huh?
Lots.
Lots,
It was wild.
It's a wild place, man, especially if you go for the first time. So I came to the first time Thailand, 2006, to Patong, Bangla Road, the walking street there. I was 23. Women are screaming at you. The fuck is this?
Like, yeah, they're all so beautiful.
Yeah. Well, that changes the longer.
Then my boy told me that they were guys.
Oh, yeah? I just tried once to see if you like it or not. And then do it a second time to confirm you didn't like it. Or did like it. You know, why not, man? There's a market for everything.
Can you read my
just
thoughts?
make sure you're on trend when you do it. Like, say you have an excuse. Yeah, the train made didn't do it, bro. I was on 350 train a week and I had to do it.
Yeah. So you truly do believe in the health phase, or at least just off cycling for a good period of time?
Yeah, off cycling, TRT. I wouldn't come off unless you want to have kids or you have a health problem you need to address. But try to stay at least on 150 tests, 250 tests, depending on your size and how you metabolize it. So I did 300 or 250 in the past, and I wanted to see what I could do on 200. And it was okay until I went to the Arnold Classic. I was pretty full and hard and dense. And then, of course, the Arnold Classic happens, weekend happens, and you train half-assed, and you eat a little bit too much cheesecake. And so now I'm a little bit sloppy, but it still got some.
Your arms are huge, bro.
Sit away. Get out of here. So,
Your
still
arms
good.
are massive.
And of course, you get your pictures taken, so you're flexing the whole time. So that stays. Don't ask me about the legs. The legs are down. 3 days at the Expo running around. But yeah,
You're still training legs though, normally.
yeah,
There's
of
nothing
course.
wrong.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
right.
of course, as hard as I can, man. It's a rite of passage. I mean, if you're not training legs hard, you might as well go do men's physique. And I'm a fucking bodybuilder.
We're just kidding. No, we're not.
I saw one guy at the Arnold Classic wearing board shorts, and they were so tight. They looked like, and he clearly didn't train legs.
Damn.
And he looked like a cyclist. You know, the cyclist
Yeah,
with
I know
those
what you're
the
talking
cycle
about, yeah.
pants. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, this doesn't look right.
There's some men's physique
Back
guys that
super wide,
yeah.
and legs smaller than his arms. I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
There are some men's physique guys that have massive legs now though.
Yeah.
They're starting to train it really hard, which I love.
Well, I mean, I told you for years that you should do classic, and then you finally listened. And now
I've been wanting to.
and now you're placing better. Also, you got
Yeah,
that best poser award, right?
Thanks, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff, dude.
I just knew I wasn't even close to big enough though at the time. So
Yeah, now
the
you're
reason why.
getting closer. I think you're 1 or 2 off seasons away to dominate the stage.
classic was definitely always a passion though. Ever since it actually came out.
Oh yeah,
You
of
know,
course, it's still
I was
new.
like, wow, this is.
I like classic, man. It's those guys look so good. But you see Wesley.
I think the physiques are only getting better and better and better. Even with Sebum gone, I think they're just getting more and more aesthetic. Honestly.
Yeah, and there's a huge pool they can pull talent from. Like it seems everybody gets started in classic, and then maybe like Urs, for example, like, oh man, I can't make weight anymore. I'm gonna do open.
Yeah.
So funny, everybody,
Dude,
everybody counted him out. I was never gonna win a pro show. Boom, 1, 2, Olympia, and placed.
Crazy.
Yeah, he kicked some fucking ass, shut up some people.
My favorite shot of all time, Urs, I hope you're listening to this.
He
He told me he listens to the podcast.
I know he's listening. If I'm on, he's listening.
Oh, can you move your mic a little bit this way?
Yeah.
So we can make sure that a little bit more. Yeah. And then you can like twist. That's
All
better.
right.
Yeah.
It's good? Okay.
Yeah. So we can see your pretty face.
Thank you.
Urs told me something hilarious. We were like talking about our meals, and I haven't started up with Patrick yet.
Yeah.
So, and Young only had a little event, so I grabbed a couple little cookies there.
Ah.
And Urs was like, Patrick don't like that. And
It's okay, I didn't pay the coaching fee yet.
yeah, and I asked him like, how does he eat in his off season? Is Stefan like as strict or close to as strict as Patrick? Because I know Patrick's like infamous for it. Yeah. But he was like, no. Yesterday, like Stefan and I both had breakfast and had like 5 stacks of pancakes, and I was like, oh, that's fucking awesome. And he says, yeah, during the off season, I'm a lot more lax, but during prep, I'll play RuneScape. Or no, not RuneScape. I'll play League of Legends, and each game is like approximately like 30 to 45 minutes, right? So then I'll play like 2 games, and then by the time the 2 games are over, it's time for my next meal.
It's perfect timing, right? Why set a stopwatch where you can play 2 matches?
Dude, when I first started doing content, and I started off fat, right? So it was always like hard for me to get lean until like after maybe college started getting easier and easier and easier as I learned more as well. But like during college, when I was just trying to stay shredded, and like when I first started posting pictures on Instagram, like if I wasn't studying, I would literally just be playing League of Legends and shit, just so I didn't have any hands to eat.
Oh, so you keep your head off of food.
Yeah, it's literally impossible.
Yeah, all the weird tricks we had to pull before GLP-1s came to the market, no? Like injecting melanotan 2 to kill your appetite because you're too nauseous, or drink like 2 liters of water before you go to bed so you fill your stomach so you can actually sleep.
A little Coke.
Yeah,
Coke like a
maybe.
Like,
smoke some cigarettes.
Calorie-free Coke.
Huh? What?
I'm just being dumb, dude.
Yeah, Adderall to kill your appetite. And now we just use Reda.
Yeah.
Lifesaver.
Yeah, it's insane. How do you feel about Reda, and how do you feel like Reda and Guts for Guts coming into the show?
I think you should stop the Reda like 2 or 3 weeks before, because it just bloats your stomach, especially if you're a little bit older, like so let's say over 35, 40 years old. And then if you combine it with growth hormone, which causes a little bit of intestinal distension from the water retention, and maybe a little bit of organ growth as well, which is temporary, because once you come off the growth hormone, you pull it right back in. But especially in bodybuilding, and some competitors in classic, they run growth all until the show because they're so shredded they don't need to cut it out. Right. But the GLP-1, since it slows your digestive tract, right, and how it passes through your intestinal tract, carb loading is going to be pretty fucking hard. We try to eat 600, 800, 1,000, 1,200 carbs. So I would tell most competitors to stop it 2 or 3 weeks before, really let it metabolize, give yourself a week to kind of, digestion, let that normalize. And then the intestinal motility and the stool and the food passing through is just normal. And then you can stimulate that with digestive enzymes, beta hydrochloride, apple cider vinegar, Tatka for stool lubrication, magnesium for stool lubrication, maybe oxbol, whatever you need. But then at least it goes through. You have a normal dump the next day, and it doesn't stay behind. Gotcha. Because I've seen, especially the amateur level, you see some guys with horrible distension again, which I thought we were over. Right? I thought we're past that, but it's probably from the GLP-1s. It's funny. Like 5 years ago, when I started about GLP-1s, the bodybuilders were so against it. That's not blue collar, bro. I like to suffer. I like to be hungry and feel the pain of prep. And now everybody and their mother's on a GLP-1, and all the coaches are talking about it. It's hilarious to see. Yeah, nobody can prep without a GLP-1, which is fine. So it's a drug that has its benefits, but it's funny to see how the bodybuilding community has changed their tune the last couple of years on 5-amino-1-MQ, on mitochondrial health, and I don't need all that shit. Sure, you don't.
I'm not gonna lie though, like I'm the person that like I've been struggling to lose weight for like the longest amount of time. Yeah, and I always successfully did it just because I had enough
sheer fucking willpower.
I had enough trauma from being bullied.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah,
I feel like that's Yeah, I feel like that's accurate.
I was way more motivated when I was younger.
Yeah.
But now I got so much shit going on. I just don't want to think about food.
Yeah.
It's a major distraction.
But for sure, though, like the discipline that, because when I was 12 years old, I was like, something just like cracked in me. And then I started just trying to, I just did a dumb thing. I just started trying to basically never eat.
Oh, man.
And then if I did overeat, it wasn't very often. But I did have a small sense of belief, or I did have a little bit of bulimia, which was bad.
Oh, wow.
So that was something that took a couple of years for me to get out and learn. And Matt Ogus's like little macro YouTube video where he's eating these massive big salads and he's somehow getting like a fucking shredded 8-pack on 4,000 calories.
Totally natural, of course. You never know.
Some of these guys, though, seriously, some of these guys have the genetics to make them look very unnatural. Like, do you think TNF is natural?
Who?
TNF.
TNF?
You don't know TNF? Huh, that's crazy.
I know TNA. I don't know any TNF.
That's wild.
Who's TNF?
Well,
I
never
know
mind.
Tristan Lee.
Yeah, Tristan looks great.
I mean, he's natural. He doesn't know me. Otherwise, he would know me. And he's fucking sure. I remember we met. It's like, hey, Tristan, what's up? So, do you know who I am? He's like, no. It's okay. Then you're natural.
That's funny as hell.
No, but he knows the lighting, and he's got his brothers helping him out, and he's just dies to the socks year round. He put on a little bit of fat.
It's
his off-season gain.
It's this guy. Oh, look, there's a picture of TNF and Tristan together.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's a little bit taller.
So, anyways, he's well, I don't know. I'm curious what people are going to say in the comments now if they believe he's natty. But anyways, he's one of those people like Ryan Terry where their abs just pop like crazy.
Yeah.
So even if he's like softer on the outside, then you see a picture of him in his abs.
Yeah,
like
those guys that are like 12% body fat and still look 8. Yeah, yeah.
It's wild, dude.
Yeah.
It's like
I have the opposite.
I'm like, you guys literally look like me when I'm running like 400 milligrams of mass.
Yeah.
At least.
Ask them to post their blood work and check their upper glute and all the favorite injection sites for scar tissue. That's the only way.
Yeah.
Because I talk with guys that are natty or say that they're natty, and all you have to do is jam their thumb in their upper glute and the lumps are right there.
Well,
and other guys, you don't feel it, but they're just running orals.
Yeah.
So they're scared to inject. They say, I don't inject, so I'm natural. And meanwhile, they're on all of the Osterine they can get their hands on.
Is this just your excuse to jam your fingers up people's glutes?
Yeah. I don't get much action at home. So.
With peptides growing substantially in the last couple of months alone, honestly, we could list out a long list of all the peptides that have helped us. You guys have heard these peptides and these research chems in the podcast maybe a million times. Peptides I've used from APR such as BPC 157 and TP500 for soft tissue healing, retatrutide and other GLPs, mitochondrial support such as SS31, MOTC, 5-amino-1Q, methylene blue, SLU. There's a bunch of others. Obviously, the list goes on and on. One of my favorite things, though, that I've been utilizing, such as during my last prep, that has allowed my blood work to come basically pristine, aside from slightly elevated liver enzymes at about 60 and 130 1 week after the show. And this is after a leg day because my dumbass doesn't want to skip a training day. These are probably the things that I think are the most important. So this includes like your injectable glutathione, injectable or even just normal NAC, liposoluble glutathione, GI aids such as oral BPC, oral TB, KPV. A lot of these things have probably been very substantial in reducing oxidative stress and keeping all my blood markers down, and thus keeping me as basically healthy as fucking possible that you can be while you're bodybuilding. So I couldn't be more thankful to Mike for literally showing me the ropes and also providing me with all of these things. Even the compounded supplements that he creates for blood pressure and reducing oxidative stress on all your organs, including your cardiovascular system, your liver and your kidneys. All of these that he creates have been very substantial, honestly. So you can find any of these at his site, aprhealthsolutions.com, and he has offered me a code Nile for you guys to use, which will offer you a 15% discount off of all of that as well, since he knows that the codes are a little bit just for the homies, If you guys end up using those and you like him, please let me know. Shoot in a comment, just give me a DM or something, and if you ever have any problems or any questions, I'll be here too. This is a community for me, even though I don't have a fucking Discord because I'm lazy as shit, but I fucking should make one. So love you guys, and keep training hard. You were speaking of GH actually, and it got me thinking. I'm because this was a conversation I was having recently with people like Evan Centopani. But do you happen to have a preference on if you had to choose when you would be taking GH? Like, would you prefer off season or prep?
We've gone like all over the place, right? Multiple times per day, before activity for fat loss, bolus injections before bed, and I think right now, after trying everything, for anabolism, it doesn't really matter. Just get it in. Your IGF-1 will go up, and there's marginal differences between multiple injections or a bolus dose before bed, which then compounds with your nighttime GH pulse and then the IGF-1 raising from that as well. Right now, what I like is just a high dose, a bolus dose of growth hormone on weaker body parts, maybe 3 to 5 times a week.
What do you mean on weaker? Oh, like on the days that you're training?
Yeah. So let's say I want to bring up my legs. I do 10, 12, 15 IUs post leg day before bed.
Okay.
Yeah. So you get the fullness, you get the anabolism, you get the IGF-1 spike. The next time that will help with nutrient partitioning and hyperplasia, because protein synthesis is stimulated for 2 days?
Yeah.
So in the IGF-1 sets elevated for 2 days also.
I feel so happy right now. I just got chills.
Yeah.
It was like exactly what I would have wanted to say for myself. You just said, so I feel like
and
I feel
it's funny.
so validated.
We've come full circle now because remember the 5 days on, 2 days off protocol?
Yeah.
So that was done for budget purposes.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Was it? I thought it was just like I thought it was just something that people made up to kind of replicate the whole every other day dosing that they did for children.
Yeah.
I thought that was what bodybuilders were like. Just take a few days off
on the forums like GH. Remember when GH was actually expensive? We paid like $12 per unit for pharma grade, and then $6 per unit for generics. Okay, that's
crazy, dude.
$12 less than $1 for generics and $4 for pharma grade, or $3 if you got a good source. So money is not allowed, and there's so much more money in the sport with affiliates, so everybody's getting paid, tens of thousands of dollars every month. So it doesn't really matter anymore to run 12 IUs pharma GH. Because the money is there. People are getting a fuck a lot of money in this. It's unbelievable. Why do you think everybody and their mother is starting a peptide company? There's so much money in it. But back then, in the farm days, when there was no peptides and no affiliate sales for people because there was no social media, we all talked on the boards. 5 days on, 2 days off to save money. And then people say, they got the same fullness, same pump, same vascularity, same recovery, but I'm taking it 2 days less. So I save 20%, 17% of my GH budget. I spent that on train. And now we've come full circle. So just do it on workout days or 3 days a week, but a higher dose. Seems that a higher dose once per day works better. And then you take some time off to kind of reset the insulin sensitivity if that's an issue for you, or reduce the water retention if that's an issue for you. Like if you do 3 to 5 times a week, the carpal tunnel is less of an issue, which a lot of people suffer from. I never got that issue, but my electrolyte balance is good.
Okay.
And I take empagliflozin that might be able to help dispel some of the excess sodium that growth hormone seems to retain. And there's so many ways to mitigate the side effects.
Which is also something that you recommend for people for prep too, right?
Yeah, and then I got a lot of shit for it.
Wait, why?
So I'm keeping that secret. Yeah, on your short. And I see the comment section go wild. I got better things to do. I want to debate Steve. Yeah, get a fucking cue card, man. Anyway, so long story short, if you don't want to take diuretics, empagliflozin acts as a diuretic if you use it sparingly by promoting sodium excretion and preventing a little bit of the glucose uptake if you're carb loading. So again, you take it or leave it. Yeah, I put it out there.
Yeah,
people say, "Hey, Steve doesn't know how empagliflozin works." I mean.
What's the argument against that?
I don't know. People don't like to change their aldactone, Lasix, and diazide protocol, or they want to do what Scott Stevenson recommended in his contest prep article.
Yeah,
maybe you sleep at a slope, you put 2 bricks under your bed, and that works very, very well. No diuretics required. But people have their own ideas, and they don't like it if somebody perceived that's not a bodybuilder. I'm not big anymore. Bring something new to the space.
But man, you don't remember what they were. Well, not.
I read it for 1 hour for 10 minutes, and then I was like, yeah, whatever. It's okay. It's okay. It's a couple of years from now, people will adopt it. Just like with anything I introduce.
Do you think? All right. I'm just curious if it's okay.
Right.
I'm gonna go look for the comment real quick, just to see if he wrote the reason that he feels like it doesn't work here.
You didn't get into it in the last podcast?
No, we didn't. I don't think we discussed it. Yeah. There's Justin Jacoby. Not gonna lie, I don't know what the Pacliflozin is or does, but I'm always up for a good debate. Respectful, of course.
People just want to debate to raise their profile because they only got 10,000 followers on Instagram. I got so many guys that want to debate me or come on my podcast. I'm very selective, man. It's not everybody gets a piece of the pie.
Okay. Here's the comment from Phil.
Meanwhile, I've done 5 podcasts with Nal Naika because he's a solid dude and doesn't complain.
Okay. I can't. There's nothing for me to say. He didn't say his reasoning.
There you go.
So I see why you don't.
No response is a response to. Anyway, I think it's very beneficial if you take it the night before the show. After 3 days of carb loading and maybe 1 day of fat loading, if you're also using growth hormone loading, because growth hormone loading, again, lowers the insulin sensitivity a little bit. And with fat loading, you got the adipose tissue coming from the growth hormone through the lipolytic effects. And the fat loading that you're doing to increase the hardness of skeletal muscle. That day you might do low sodium, but you might also promote sodium retention through the growth hormone loading. So you want to balance that out with empagliflozin, which takes care of the excess sodium and the excess glucose that might be floating around. So you prevent any kind of insulin resistance or insulin sensitivity issues while you're fat loading and taking bolus doses of growth hormone to promote fullness and hardness. And then you don't retain water. And since it acts as a diuretic, if you use it occasionally, you get dry.
You mean a bolus dose of growth hormone, kind of like the John Meadows style,
like 12, right? 24, 36 I use. Dude, this is the best thing ever.
Yeah.
GH loading before the contest is the best thing ever. It works for men. It works for women. Any class.
Why don't I see or hear of any coaches doing that at all?
Because they either want to keep it a secret or they don't know about it. I don't get it. I mean, I pulled out all the stops, right?
They must not know about it or just not have experimented with it. Because
maybe
even I talk to people, off camera, right? And they will tell me shit because, I mean, I guess most of us don't care. And if anyone has secrets,
right.
I'm if you're my homie and you're telling me a secret, I'm going to keep it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Plus, it's off air, so it's like I'm not.
Right.
Whatever. You understand what I'm saying?
They probably don't know.
No one except for my boy Mike, from APR Health Solutions, who also listens to all your stuff.
Yeah.
Like he experimented with it and he felt like it worked really great at his last show.
I know Andrew Berry talks about it, but he was coached by Scott or John Meadows. Right. I know John Meadows used it quite a bit. It's just when you have to make a weight or you're super depleted, there's a couple of ways you can load fullness back in, right? The most often and commonly used is carb loading with proper electrolyte balance. Then the second step would be fat loading for intramuscular triglycerides, which really creates hardness, especially if you bring the carbohydrates down just to a maintenance intake. And then the third would be creatine or electrolytes a little bit more, or adenosine monophosphate to promote blood flow, and growth hormone. And again, it's very person dependent on what you prefer. Like adenosine monophosphate shots of 400 milligrams, they'll make you hyperventilate and sit in the fetal position for a while. But there's nothing for fullness like it. I mean, I don't understand why people don't want to talk about it openly or they don't know about it. I mean, you're a pretty shitty contest prep coach if you don't know that these options are available. Do you need to use them? No. Of course, you don't need to carb load and then creatine load and fat load and then GH load and then AMP on the morning of the show. You don't have to do all of that. But if it's beneficial for your client and it brings them a look that wins,
I feel like
they're fucking shredded and dry and hard and they look nasty, then why the fuck not? That's up to you as a coach to lay out all the options and select. And then again, there's how many good coaches are there? Like really good coaches.
Do you think spilling over is something possible with GH load?
Yeah, if you do it for 4 days. That's why we do it for 2. Same as anadrol loading. If you do it for 3 days, it's fine. If you do it for 7 days, it might be too much.
Okay.
AMP, you do it the morning of the show, but if you do it another time for finals, then you might spill over. So
I actually thought the GH load was just the night before.
Could do it the night before. Could do it for 2 days. I usually did it for 2 days, depending on the person. I've done it for 7 days with a person who held no water on it. But it depends on the person. And as a coach, you have to recommend that, experiment with that several steps during the contest prep, or maybe 12 weeks out, 8 weeks out, 4 weeks out, because there's always a little bit of a spillover, right? And you need to stop it for a week for the water to go away so you can actually see how much of the water the growth hormone brings. And So and that might set you back in prep also, because you use it as a fat burner or fat liberator. You reduce a little bit of fullness. So all these things you have to experiment with, and it works better if the person is just lean year round.
Yeah,
and then you can really see these minute changes. Yeah, it has a proper posing room with proper lighting, proper camera. All these options just need to be on the table. Doesn't mean you have to take them. But I'm surprised so many people are not talking about it or don't know about it.
I mean, if I had to choose and I was either prepping and I was prepping myself, I feel like I would at least take test and GH out at least 1.5 weeks before, and then do like 18 IUs of GH the night before.
Yeah.
And then that way I feel a little bit less pressured to keep my carb load high, where I feel like it's a little more risky.
No, you still carb load because it's a different.
No, yeah, but just not as high as I would have.
No, it's still the same.
Yeah.
Because the glycogen storage has nothing to do with the water retention, intramuscular water retention you hold from the growth hormone.
Like
it's a finish. It's like polish. So the glycogen fills up your tires. The intramuscular triglycerides coming from the fat loading, that's your paint. And then the growth hormone is the polish on top of the paint. So now you can drive fast and look good while you're doing it.
I'm not understanding this.
Yeah, okay. So you have every way to load fullness is different, right? Creatine is a different pathway. Glycogen storage is a different pathway. The accompanying electrolytes is a different pathway. Growth hormone, etc. So you could maximize all of them, assuming that none of them make you spill over. Could be a 2-day carb load, 3-day carb load, 1,000 carbs.
But what do you mean
carbs,
by
whatever.
assuming none of them make you spill over?
Because you have to test it.
Okay.
So you have to try each and every method separately, and then together, and then give every method a couple days to see when you spill over. You can do the fill and spill method, but that requires diuretics. And once you're already spilled from the carbs, then the growth hormone is going to compound with that water, and the diuretics is not going to get that off. Unless you take 1 or 2 days of fasting or low calorie intake to kind of reset this insulin spilling effect that you got.
Okay.
So yeah, I think peaking is an art form.
Yeah.
And it can be very easy or very difficult depending on how well you know your client. And if you know your client well, you've done a couple preps together, and you know how each of these options affect the client, then man, you can pull off some crazy differences. And I think the coaches at the highest level, they know exactly how to do that. And they might not talk about it, and their clients might not talk about it. Doesn't mean it's not being done.
Yeah.
Because I recognize some of those looks, the AMP look. I recognize that when I see it on stage, like, oh, this guy probably took AMP, or this guy probably loaded some growth hormone.
Okay.
Or this guy forgot to take out his GLP-1 and the stomach is here. Can't flex it anymore.
So you're just like saying that basically, as long as you're not spilling over on any of these, then as you keep adding them, your fullness will just keep increasing. That sounds crazy to me.
Yeah.
It sounds hard to. It sounds like hard to.
You should get Milo Sarchev on.
I did.
He did.
I'll have him again on.
Oh, really? You have that? You have him on? I should.
Yeah, I had him on. I had him on with Chris.
Right. Chris,
awesome.
right on the AMA, IFBB AMA. Yeah.
I did a little bit like IFBB.
Yeah. Okay, a little crossover,
but
subscriber share.
It was awesome. I fucking love it.
I love Chris Tuttle and Milo Sargev, man. Those guys are dialed in. And I know Chris Tuttle is, from what I understand, he really focuses on the nutrition and less on the drugs. And Milos is a little bit about both.
He's also so very logical, even with the drug protocol.
Yeah.
I like the way he titrates up everything. That's what I did for this off cycle, this 12-week off cycle.
Yeah.
And then I jumped on 350 tests and 300 primo. And after I jumped on that, it's been like 4.5 weeks.
Right.
And people are telling me like I'm like the biggest I've ever been, which is definitely not true, but still, it makes me feel like, holy shit, dude.
Imagine if you go to 500 a couple weeks from now.
I actually just pumped it up to 450 right before the Arnold.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, have to. Right before the show.
I felt like a month was a good amount of time enough to be at 350 because that's pretty low.
I like 8 weeks, 8 to 10 weeks before you bump it up. But of course, if you're trying to restore a little bit of the size that you had in the past, and you have a goal of competing and stuff, then you can do it faster.
Okay,
and then you might switch some compounds out later on during prep. But it's start low, build your way up. I think that's the case for everything. You minimize your side effects, and you're not going to grow faster than you would on a higher dose anyway.
That's what I feel.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking about Justin Harris, right?
I mean, not necessarily like, I do believe that like the higher you go, the faster the rate, but it's not a linear progression.
Usually you top out.
Yeah,
and
you
then
top
get
out
toxic.
at a certain level, and then right, and a lot of spillover to, I guess, side effects.
I see these guys starting on a 1 gram cycle from TRT. I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
From 200 tests to 500 tests or a 350 test and something else on top. I think that's totally fine because it will take some time for your body to kind of get into that groove again of utilizing all the drugs. I mean, it's a tapered down process, right? Drugs go up and then everything beneath it, the protein synthesis and whatever is mediated through the androgen receptor, that needs to upregulate. And then once it's kind of saturated 4, 6, 8 weeks later, you bump up the dose to initiate that process at a higher capacity. It's, I
think the cool thing for me to see though is like, because I left GH pretty much. I left GH. Well, I did tesamorelin for a large part of the off cycle.
Yeah.
And then the other half of it, I jumped on 3 IUs of GH before bed. Just because I know my IGF-1 levels are naturally low, but whenever I do 3 IUs, it's higher. Whether or not systemically means it affects localized IGF-1 too. I keeping that GH in, the lowest weight I was in my off cycle was 179. And then after I bumped up to 350 tests and 300 primo, and I ate a little bit more food for sure, but it wasn't substantial. It was more intuitive. I did count, so I had a little general idea, but it was really just like, by feel.
Just slowly getting back into the...
And it's not nearly as many calories as Patrick has in me starting off right off the bat. And I jumped up to 191 pounds.
Yeah.
From 179.
It goes fast, man.
And that's just half of that's food, and the other half was 350 tests and 300 primo.
Right.
Which is pretty impressive to me because last time I decided to do that whole like rebound and everything. We were on like 600 tests, 500 primo for the entire year. And I just did not feel like I was responding the same.
No, sometimes it happens. It depends on how your body was after prep and if it can utilize the food. And
but my health markers were all still great. They were all within range. Okay. So in my mind, I was like, okay, health markers are great, then I should respond well. But I don't think those are...
Should have taken more stuff.
I don't think those are... Yeah. But you know what I'm saying,
the
right?
dose, add the insulin in.
You know what I'm saying, though, right? Like just because your health markers look great, to me, doesn't mean that you're going to respond to the care
exactly.
well.
Exactly.
It just means you're healthier.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah, so sometimes if you see that happening, then it's just time to pull the plug and reset a little bit. And it has nothing to do with androgen receptor sensitivity. But it just, I think everything that's going on in the body, all the processes are just kind of at a max out point. And then you need to reset and take 2 steps backwards to take 10 steps forward again.
Yeah.
And it sucks mentally because you're smaller, you're not as strong, you're not as hard and dense and full, but it's only for a couple months.
Right. I think the faith in seeing, for example, like you guys watch the podcast with Jordan Hutchinson, and the podcast with Chris Tuttle, and the podcast with Terrence Ruffin, even a little bit of the pod with Dom Superslice. I think you can have a lot of faith that like after your long off cycle, you're going to respond so much more.
Yeah,
and you'll get it back really fast.
And everybody says that,
and muscle memory too.
Everybody with experience says that, and then Chris Aceto says that as well. Right, he makes his clients go off cold turkey, basically old school.
Cold turkey is crazy though.
And yeah, just a couple of weeks, but it's enough to kind of reset everything. And then if you do 2 shows per year, I mean, how much time can you take off really?
Was it really just a couple of weeks that you'll have them like come off completely?
Yeah, it depends on the competition season. Like if you after the Mr. Olympia, if you only do the Olympia, then they would take 3 months off. But if you do the Arnold again, okay, you take 4 weeks off.
Oh, like if you
and then you start prep again, you know.
How do you think that's even worth it? Come off for 2 to 4 weeks?
Seems like it. I mean, Derek Lunsford won the Arnold Classic, the New York Pro, and the Mr. Olympia.
Right, because
unfortunately, he did look the best at the Arnold Classic, and then less at the New York, and less at the Mr. Olympia. But he probably took some time off in between those shows.
I guess it's just interesting because everybody logically wants to say that it's still in your system 2 weeks from now. So but
it's a lower concentration. It depends on what you use. Like if you cruise into the Arnold Classic on short acting esters, that's pretty much gone in 4 weeks. And then if you give yourself 6 weeks, 8 weeks to clean out, okay, you were quote unquote drug free for 4 weeks. It might be enough. And again, these are genetic freaks, you know, they're not like you and me. Like they respond very well to the drugs that they take.
Yeah.
And maybe they also hyper respond to not taking drugs where everything resets just faster. If they can process the drugs like that, they can probably also process the off time faster and clean out faster. They probably have unlimited detoxification in their body. And then you stop putting the toxins in and training so hard, the food. And then after a month, they're like, yeah, I'm ready for another run of drug, food, and training abuse. Give it to me.
Yeah. Here's a little bit of just a little bit of data from self-experimentation for all of you guys. But I came off of gear in the normal average way that you come off of gear right before a prep or right before the show, right? So like test was out maybe a week before, and then et cetera, like whatever. Since they were all fast esters, I did my blood work a week after the show, and when I got the results, my total test was at 170. 170.
Goes fast. So if you take testosterone,
it went fast.
Did you take testosterone propionate leading into the
test
show?
prop, yeah.
Yeah, so you cut it 2 weeks before blood work, right? And then the test prop is what, MCT oil? Or grapeseed, cottonseed? Is it super easy to inject where the needle just
I think it was grapeseed.
Grapeseed, it was a little bit thicker.
It was either MCT or grapeseed. I don't remember which one.
So grapeseed takes a little bit longer to metabolize, so your levels would stay elevated longer.
Okay.
But MCT is basically gone the next 2 days.
Might have been MCT then. I don't know. Whatever. But yeah still.
Now it goes fast, man.
Yeah,
if you stop the test propionate, it's even with enethate, it takes a while. So I usually take test enethate in castor oil from Bayer Testiviron, and that stays elevated for like 4 weeks before you're androgen deficient.
Gotcha.
But if you take test prop out after 2 weeks, especially in MCT oil, you're androgen deficient. You might still feel good because the orals are still there. That doesn't detect on blood work. That takes a couple of weeks to metabolize. You have all these metabolites which still activate the androgen receptor. You're eating a lot of food. And then, 2 weeks after the show, you probably start to feel a little bit off. How long did it take for you? Until when you came down to a cruise that you thought like, ooh, this is pretty low.
Well, it was pretty quick because I cut everything off cold turkey. I did the little Crisicino thing.
You went off.
I went off, just HCG.
Okay, yeah.
And obviously the HCG takes some time. So I was at 170 test for quite like a few weeks.
Got to still inject something, It's just, HCG it is.
I never got depressed or anything, but I can tell you that like normally my workouts that I would hit for chest or for legs, for example, that would take me like 3 days to recover. It started taking 5.
Yeah.
At least 5 days.
Yeah, it's 75% of your working weight.
And I was like, holy shit, dude, this recovery sucks.
You need to be mentally strong for this stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it usually takes like 4 to 6 weeks coming from a high dose to a cruise dose. And at week 6, I'm like, I still look good, but workouts suck.
Yeah.
You got 1 plate less, 2 plates less, 1 rep less, 2 rep less. And sometimes you have those days like end of the week. You have like 5 workouts a week, right? And then Friday, Saturday, you're like, God, what am I doing here? I did that for a whole year, man. HCG monotherapy to get my wife pregnant.
Yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah, I bet.
And my test levels were like 800 to 900.
But it's
horrible. My mistake was trying to stay in shape. So I was also eating like 2,200 calories.
What do you think made it horrible for you?
Yeah, I'm a little bit spoiled, obviously. So let's say you take your car to 100 miles per hour, you drive that for 10 years at 100 miles per hour, you go to 60, it feels pretty goddamn slow. Man.
Okay.
Still driving. I look good though, but at one point I dropped below 90 kilos. I think I was 89, and then Aaron said he didn't want to be friends with me anymore.
What? Why?
He said below 90 kilos, like, yeah, we can't be friends. Oh, this running joke. Below 100 kilos is not a man.
I was about to say, because he's got a question.
You disqualified from being a friend. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you got to be at least 90 kilos at my height.
Seems like he still wants you to answer a question in the Q&A, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Aaron said of question. Yeah. Ask it. What do you
I'll
ask?
ask it. We'll ask it at the end.
Okay.
I'll make sure to hit it.
Cool.
But I had a little bit different experience from you than you, but maybe it's because I haven't been running for as long. But like, I felt really great on 160 test through.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I felt awesome. To be honest.
On 200 test, I feel good too. That's what I'm running now.
Okay.
But HCG monotherapy for a year after a year.
Okay.
I was like, what am I doing? Am I still a bodybuilder? Do I still like training? And then we did IVF and we got all these embryos and it was like, so the doctor's like, yeah, they're all healthy. And I went home and shot my TRT and I got started.
Nice.
Yeah, TRT is okay. So that's why I don't come off anymore. HCG monotherapy, even if my levels are high or high comparatively, I just don't feel as good as test. But right now my levels are 1,500 grams per deciliter. And that's where I feel good.
Did you ever cycle HCG while you were on cycle throughout those last 10 years?
Yeah, I did like 2-week stints. And then later on, I did like 250, 500, 1,000. And then I was off cycle. I did 1,000 IOs HCG and 75 IOs FSH every single day.
Every day?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa.
I got it sponsored, thank God.
Holy
Thank
shit,
you, AP,
every day.
AP, you're the greatest. Yeah.
Nice.
So he sent it all to me. So because of him, I have beautiful kids.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Kids.
Yeah, well, the second embryo is coming soon. So I'm just presumptuous that assuming that it's going to turn out well.
Give me some jacked hoppas.
Yeah. Yeah, so HCG monotherapy is fun if you're just getting started. Just kind of see what your testicles are capable of. But after 15 years of taking steroids, it's no.
Okay.
No, it sucks. But it was for a good cause. And now that's accomplished, and now I'm happy on TRT and enjoying my TRT for life. I stopped taking HCG. I stopped taking FSH. If my testicles atrophy and fall off, then it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I'm very thankful that I've been cycling on HCG while I've been on cycle for years now.
Right.
It was like, maybe it's like 250 micrograms 3 times a week. And it would be like 3 months at a time, then 5 months off, 3 months at a time, 5 months off, or 3, 3, 3, 3. And I feel like that's helped a lot.
Yeah, it's good for libido, good for energy levels, good for testicular volume, obviously.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it should shrink all the way in. The funny thing is when you go over a gram of
The
test.
lows are great too.
Yeah, there you go. It looks good too.
It looks good too.
Got a knock on the door, you know. So when you go on a gram of test, your testicles actually increase in size because the concentration of testosterone is so high in your body that extra testicular testosterone in the rest of your body can go intratesticularly and stimulate the Leydig cells or the Sertoli cells. Sertoli, not Leydig. Stimulate the Sertoli cells just like HCG does. Because what HCG does is increase the testosterone production in your testicles, which is otherwise shut down from the testosterone that you're injecting. So you tell your testicles, hey, produce some testosterone that goes to the Sertoli cells and starts producing sperm, just like luteinizing hormone would. And then with follicle stimulating hormone, that is a more pronounced effect, to put it simply. But if you take so much testosterone that your whole body is testosterone, it just goes into your testicles, forget about LH and FSH, goes straight to the Sertoli cells. And the Sertoli cells are like, oh, test is in the picture. Let's produce some semen. And then you get big fucking nuts. This is the old school protocol for getting your wife pregnant. Go on a gram of test.
Crazy.
Yeah, it works. You get a daughter, but it's likely that you get a daughter, but it works. So when I did like 1 gram of test, 2 grams of test, 2.5 grams of test, no need for HCG, man. Nuts are nice and full.
Wild.
Everything grows. Everything grows.
Cool. Because of all the drama of the last company that I was working with, and I'm not trying to point any fingers or anything, but you guys definitely have probably heard what was going on. I've been a little bit skeptical, to be honest, and I've been wanting to find an HRT company that I could work with and that I could get my blood work done with, and that would offer me some proper guidance without upcharging all of my homies and shit. So there's this kind of crazy opportunity that I feel like the universe has granted, because it's not something that I searched for necessarily, but ended up being through connections with my closest friends. And it's this new company I was working with, Optimize HRT, which Nathan was recently discussing. And I just gotta say, man, I'm really proud of everything that they've created and everything that they're standing for. They're trying to take advantage of the fact that they know what went wrong with the last HRT company and trying to make sure that that doesn't happen this time, if you know what I'm saying, and doing things the right way. So this company is where I am getting my blood work done from, and basically getting all my health measures and protocols for longevity checked. And basically the difference between an HRT clinic and a research chem gray market source is that the HRT clinic works with a 5083 compounding pharmacy. You can get all your peptides and your medications prescribed by the doctor. If you're not getting a hormonal peptide or medication such as testosterone, nandrolone, winstrol, or anavar, which you can get prescribed to yourself if the need is shown, such as like osteoporosis or some other muscle wasting disease. Then luckily you can get the peptides prescribed to you without having to get blood work done. But they do offer a $100 membership that includes free blood work, which is normally a $420 panel every 3 months. And with the membership, you also get a wellness specialist that is like your peptide coach that will, with the doctor, give you the best peptide protocol or medication protocol to make sure you reach your goals. And these are goals such as fertility goals, cutting down and getting fucking jacked, composition goals, longevity goals, basically everything that you can imagine that is fucking sick for dudes. The other great thing, aside from getting everything prescribed, which obviously you can show your destinations if you're traveling, your prescriptions, so you're not getting thrown into jail in Tokyo or some shit. It is sent with cooling, needles, and instructions, which is actually illegal for research chem science. And in terms of safety and quality, Optimization does work with a 503A compounding pharmacy, in which the FDA checks for its inflow and outflow currents to make sure that there are no vortexes that cause contamination, which yields the highest threshold of safety, basically. So this is on an opinion by opinion basis. Like, if you decide that you want to go the cheaper route, then normally gray market sources that are research chem sites will normally offer these for cheaper. Since the company is still new, they are offering their peptides at the lowest cost that they can in respective to other HRT companies, because they are trying to get their member base up. So if you are wanting to join an HRT clinic, now is probably the time. And that link is going to be in the description if you guys are interested. You could also use code NILE whenever you apply, because that helps your boy out and gives me a little reference and gives me some creds. So they know I'm sick and that people actually like the podcast, which would be pretty awesome. Since I am helping with the start of this company, I want to make sure that this is the best company that could possibly give us the best experience. So if you guys happen to have any questions or any concerns, bring this shit up with me, man, because I want to make sure that we all grow this to be the best that we can, and we all grow together, obviously, because otherwise my podcast is shit and everything that I've like worked for is like fucking pointless. So that's what it's all about, bro. Is family and brotherhood and us getting fucking yoked. Of course, because we have Steve on, there's like a million Q&As.
Oh, no.
So I'm making sure to have a little bit more time for that.
So we're going to do 50-50.
Yes. But before we do that, though, I want to ask and dive a little bit deeper into prep. But so hypothetically, if you were either to, we could say if you wanted to prep yourself, or if you're going to prep, say, an average classic pro. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's a good average to hit. Mm-hmm. Or maybe like a new classic pro or something for like his first pro show. Yeah. How would you structure the prep?
Man, that's pretty broad.
Yeah.
16-week prep. Start low, build your way up. Test primo most of the time. Maybe some masterone if they need it. Get that skin a little bit thinner. Drive off a little bit of fluid. Add in the tren 6 to 8 weeks out to the low dose, 150 milligrams, or maybe start at 100 and bump it up to 150 later on.
I like that idea.
Throw in the Winstrol if they can tolerate it, preferably injectable at 6 weeks out. Inject mostly in the upper glute area where the posing trunks covers it. Can be done sub-Q.
Do you have a reason why you would do 6 weeks instead of 4 weeks out for Winstrol?
Because he's a beginner, so he needs a bit longer time to really get that hardness through.
Mm.
Again, if you're a seasoned competitor, you've got freaking shredded. I mean, if you got freaking shredded for his pro card, then you can do it a shorter time. But I feel that like 4 to 6 weeks is kind of the sweet spot for Winstrol and Trembolone to really kick in and make that cosmetic change.
Yeah.
And then you can't run too much of it because Winstrol and Tren put quite a lot of size on you. We're talking about 25 milligrams injectable Winstrol per day and maybe 150 milligrams Trembolone per week. And you would mix that with your oils in a sterile vial and just inject a microdose every day of whatever your protocol is. Mm-hmm. Test Primo, Masteron, Tren, Winstrol, maybe Anavar. But that some people lose definition on Anavar. And on Tren also. So it kind of, but the Winstrol kind of offsets the look of the Tren. The Tren dose is pretty low. And then, in the end, it kind of depends on where you are and how you look and how far you are off from the weight cap. Because if you're really over the weight cap, then you have to cut the test out and the tren out and just cruise in on Primo, Masteron, and Winstrol. No Anavar. But if you're not really close to the weight cap, you only got like 3 pounds of weight to lose, which you can do with water manipulation, then you run everything in. But it's so difficult to see how people look on that stack if you haven't coached them yet. Because you can coach somebody into a show on test and boldenone. If they've been shredded and they got a lot of muscle maturity, then that's all you need, or test and primo.
Mm-hmm.
And then you throw in maybe a little bit of, I don't know, Winstrol in at the end.
Yeah.
But some people don't look good on Winstrol. So it's hard to see. That's what coaching is there for. That's you individualize the prep for the person. Some people run growth hormone, some people don't. And you have to individualize it.
Mm-hmm.
But generally speaking, everybody pretty much does the same thing. You have a testosterone base, primo to fill up the rest of the anabolism and to prevent estradiol from surging. Masteron for cosmetic appeal, Winstrol for lower the hardness and cosmetic appeal, Trembolone to make the prep easier and just prevent catabolism, basically. Because you do have to suck down at the end like 1,500, 1,700 calories to get the last little bit of fat off. And then you could do, high dose Proviron for the people that respond well to it to change the skin texture, or Winstrol or Masteron. It really depends.
Yeah.
And what kind of look are you going for? Again, some people do very well on a high dose Masteron. It doesn't make them flat. And other people just get super flat on it. They would rather do well on modest dose Winstrol.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If that really brings out the separation. Other guys like to train super heavy, right? Low reps, heavy weight. And the Winstrol is a death sentence. They'll tear themselves apart, and a little bit of collagen synthesis from the Trembolone. So yeah, it kind of depends. That's not the answer that people are looking for, but that's why we have contest prep coaches to kind of figure it out for you.
I love the idea of injectable Winstrol though.
Yeah.
Just because of how much oral Winstrol affected my gut more than Retta did for my shows.
I don't like oral so much anymore during contest prep. Maybe the last couple of days for like Superdrol, for example, but everything can be injected. And with opposing drugs in classic, you have a little bit more leeway where you can inject literally into the upper quad or in between the butt cheeks, sub-Q, because it's hidden. You don't have any lumps and bumps. And if there's something I hate, it's lumps and bumps.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like the rear delts that look like tumors, or the side delts that look like aliens. I hate that. I hate it. That's why I respect Wesley Visser so much. He's separated all over the place.
Oh my God, he looks so good too.
He's separated all over the place, and he's never done a delt shot in his life.
His look was insane at the Arnold.
Yeah.
Also, just like the best, just the combination of the conditioning and the fullness.
I feel bad for Sam Sulek for standing next to him in a lineup. And
it's kind of wild.
He destroyed him. He got destroyed. Wow.
Wesley just came in just so good though.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, and he sacrificed a little bit of conditioning, a little bit of
rounder.
water retention for fullness, but I think this was his best shape ever, all things considering. His legs didn't come down. They were like twice the size. Upper body fullness was out of this world.
I don't know if I'd say they were twice the size, but they definitely were a lot rounder, bigger, though.
Yeah. I think the last showing he did at the Arnold Classic where he got sick, right? And then he did the Detroit Pro to kind of redeem himself, where he brought a good look and was a lot fuller. But Matt Greco beat him. Yeah, don't really agree with that, but I'm a fanboy. I will forever be a Wesley Visser's fanboy. So yeah, but then the look that he brought to the Arnold, I knew it was lights out. As soon as he walked out, didn't hit a pose yet. It's like, this is the best Wesley Vissers we've ever seen.
Right.
So that's a look I really like. Would you have beaten Mike Sommerfeld if Mike Sommerfeld was made the weight? I'm not sure, because Mike Sommerfeld is at his best when he's an inch taller. When he's not an inch taller.
I feel so, okay, so I need to tell Mike this personally, because I know Mike stays off of social media, especially since all the fucking drama and stuff. You know,
there's always drama, man. It's exhausting.
You fucking have to, man, or else your cortisol is gonna rise.
Yeah, that's not anabolic.
Like, he has to be off. Now, I wonder if Neil was also keeping off of social media for a similar reason, which is why, I don't know. I can't give anyone excuses that I don't know what's in their mind. It sucks. But I had this conversation. Andy told me when it happened. He was like, yo, bro, you remember when I said this on our podcast? Mike didn't make weight, and he told me this like right after it happened. So I was the first to know out of all of our homies and Jared and everything, and then Andy goes, and I was like, yeah, dude, fuck, holy shit. Like I remember when we were talking about it, and he's like, yeah, we were saying this, and like you said that you're going to tell him. And I said that I was going to tell Mike after the podcast was over, because I remember when I hung out with Mike, he and I both didn't know what the rules were, whether they were going to be rehydrated or not. So Mike was
get rehydrated, right?
He didn't get rehydrated, but Mike was betting on the fact that like, just like Terrence Ruffin did and Michael DeBoule did and a lot of these other guys did, was we're going to try to gain like maybe a quarter inch or like a half inch.
Yeah, and jump a height class.
Jump one height class. It's one height class. Yeah. It's 7 pounds. It's one height class.
No, I know.
I don't know why some people are saying he's 5'6" and he's jumping 3 height classes or 5. I'm like, dude, that doesn't make any sense.
7 pounds is the difference in the height class. So he was right on the cusp of the height class he thought he was going to be in.
Yeah.
But they didn't re-height him.
Right.
Because he was heighted at the Olympia, and that is the final height.
Yeah, that's what happened. Yeah. So
and it doesn't matter how much inversion table you do.
But yeah, he had like, they have this entire process, which is more than just inversion table. I don't remember everything, because if I say it, then I'm going to sound like a dumbass, and I'm going to probably make him sound bad, because I don't even remember what he said.
We did the same thing for the weight class.
Yeah, there's like
the
multiple things that he would be doing like the last 4 weeks to just make sure that he has like that extra quarter to half an inch that he needs.
Yeah,
which I think would reach him the 5'9" high class, right?
I think so. Yeah, I'm not sure what his height is, but
yeah. So he was in the 5'8" height.
He
class,
would be in the same height class as the previous time where he looked phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the 5'8.5" high class. So I still don't understand why people are saying he's actually like 5'7" or something. I just feel like that doesn't even make sense at that point if he's still being heighted at 5'8.5". But yeah, I fucking feel terrible, because I just realized I could have just told him, and I feel like he and Neil could have planned to just.
Well, on the other hand, it's his responsibility as the athlete and their responsibility as a coach team to double check with the powers that be. All you need is one phone call to ask, hey, am I going to get rehydrated, or will the height of the Mr. Olympia stand? Like Wesley got rehydrated because he didn't go to the Mr. Olympia. Wesley measured in another height class.
A height class above?
Yeah, because he never gave a fuck. He just stood there because he was under the weight anyway. Now he was on the weight, so he stood up tall like he should when you're getting higher. So he's like, yeah.
Really?
I'm here.
And then he jumped a weight class.
So he's got 7 pounds to gain.
That's crazy. What the fuck?
Because he never cared. He was underneath the weight of both height class, so he just stood there, like, get it over with.
But like, did he know that?
Yeah.
Did he know that he was always? So he was like, all right, this time I'm just going to plan to stand tall.
This time I'm going to stand up properly, and let them height me as tall as I can be. Because now he was at the weight cap of that height class that he was always in. So he's like 6'3" or 6'4" or something. So he sent me a message, say, yeah, now I can be heavier. I said, well, now you can have a proper off season and don't walk so much.
Yeah.
Because he was walking the daughter and the kids, and walking in between sets, and walking to the grocery store. And the best thing he ever did was stop being so mobile. You know, sacrificing all of his weight for super conditioning. And Mike Sommerfeld has to sacrifice some weight to get the conditioning, to get into the weight class, because he's basically a 212 competitor with the amount of muscle that he has. Don't get me wrong, when he did the Arnold Classic last year, my God, man, that shape, dude, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane.
You remember when Branch walked out in 2006? Oh no, 2009. He walked out first. And then he was second place, and Jay Cutler was first place. It was Jay's comeback. And at that year, Branch Warren was like his best shape ever. And he took 2 steps forward too much, where he got underlight, and he looked like an absolute demon. That's what Mike Sommerfeld looked like in Classic, where you're like, man, this is like, It's so fucking crazy. I can't believe it's classic. That's what he looked like.
Yeah. I remember I was there in person watching prejudging at the Arnold last year, and that was just like, I remember my mind being blown.
Exactly. Yeah. It's a mind-blowing physique. And then unfortunately they hided him a little bit shorter at the Mr. Olympia, and then Ramon Dino won fair and square because he couldn't bring that look. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that Mike Sommerfeld can bring the look that he wants if he's not in the weight class that he was in the past, or the height class that he was in the past. So if they keep him in this height class, he's gonna have a tough time, man. Unless he takes some time off, like some proper time off, and just starts from scratch.
Yeah, I'm sure that would be his and Neil's plan.
Yeah.
Now knowing.
Yeah. Yeah, or what you do is you take a boatload of Aribidex and Letrozole, and you lose some bone mineral mass.
Oh my God, dude!
Lose 7 pounds of bone mineral density, but then you can't really squat heavy anymore.
Holy shit! I do just feel so bad though because I just fucking forgot, man.
Yeah, don't feel, man. It's their responsibility, you know. They can always check with the powers that be. That's one phone call to Jim Mannion or Jam Mannion. You just ask and say, "Hey, well, what's the plan? Are you going to rehide me? Can I use the inversion table?"
What if I just remembered though, bro? Holy fuck, man! What if they could have just competed?
I wouldn't feel guilty about it, man. I wouldn't feel guilty about it.
Oh man,
I feel guilty about Martin losing his mind.
I know. I feel terrible about that too. Like obviously we don't support how he was acting, but at the same time, I'm like, man,
I hope he's okay mentally.
I'm like, dude.
He seems off.
It's been like 3 days now, and people are still talking shit about
That's
him
cancel culture, bro. Remember when Heidi walked off the stage?
I'm like,
we're
fucking
so hard.
bodybuilders, dude. We're here to train. We're not here to fucking complain about women's rights and shit. I'm just like, it just reminds me of.
I know. Social media is toxic as fuck.
Reminds me of extreme polarizing politics. I'm like, are you serious?
Same thing happened with the Liver King,
down, dude.
It's on and on and on. Then something else happens, and everybody forgot about it. You know, so he'll be all right.
Yeah,
I just hope his team is taking care of him.
Right,
because he needs a little vacation. I think.
I don't know if you saw Phil Heath's stories yesterday, but that was my favorite. I'm like, that perspective. That's exactly how I feel, and I feel like that's how people should act. I feel like that's the most laudable thing that someone could have said, was basically along the lines of, honestly, I want to say it because it might still be on this story. I just really
and this is coming from Phil, who was pretty well outspoken and competitive himself, you know?
So he says, I want to be clear about something. I do not condone poor sportsmanship or disrespect in this sport. Bodybuilding is built on discipline, respect, and integrity. Oh my God. But I also do not support the mob mentality that tries to destroy someone's life or career over a single moment. Mental health is something we still do not talk about enough in this sport. Obviously something that I really appreciate him saying.
Yeah. No, it's very correct.
Behind the physiques.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Behind the physiques, the trophies, and the stage light are human beings dealing with pressure, expectations, and public scrutiny. As a man, I believe of faith, I believe in accountability, but I also believe in grace. Two things can be true at the same time. The behavior may not have been right, but the mob response is not either. Let us lead with respect, perspective, compassion, and grace. One more thing. Turning moments like this into a viral spectacle takes the spotlight away from the athletes who earned it. First and second place deserve their moment. Let's stop celebrating someone's downfall and focus on the competitors who showed up and did their best.
Right.
And then finally, he says, he cited this from the Bible. Let any one of you who is without sin be the first to throw a stone. John 8:7.
I remember the people who were complaining the hardest are probably the biggest sinners also. They probably got the most skeletons in their closet.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it just, prep takes a lot out of you, and then sometimes it gets the best of you. Doesn't mean he doesn't get a second chance, but he needs some soul searching and some time off, and then go talk with Nick, because that seems his worst enemy.
Yeah.
Which I don't think Nick doesn't even know why. Martin is so upset, but maybe he chose Nick as the main competitor, the guy that he needs to beat, like Ian Vayer and Leader Brada. They had a little bit of a feud going on, right?
Yeah,
He's placing it.
they've talked shit to each other.
Yeah,
yeah, which is just and then just compounded, you know.
yeah, just compounded, and then
like,
of course you fuel that the entire prep, and Nick's just doing his own prep.
Right.
He's like, yeah, whatever, and I know Nick doesn't like Derek either, Derek Lunsford. So if you use that as fuel every single day to train, and then bring your shape, and then at the day of the show, it's like going to war with this person. Yeah, then this happens.
I love Lee Priest. I saw one of Lee Priest's comments too, and he was just like, it was just like, y'all fuckers are being pussies. Like you're in UFC and people have fights off stage. You're even in hockey, people are having fights constantly. Never you say a single word about it.
Right.
But now someone just like
exactly like Conor McGregor throwing fucking chairs at a bus, and some person get his fucking eye punctured out with glass going rogue. Yeah, it's bodybuilding, man. I think in a couple of weeks we'll all forget about it. But it's just a shame that he lost his sponsors, and he's probably at rock bottom right now. Oh, okay, he'll come back. Everybody gets a second chance, but I think he needs to talk with Nick first after he calms down a bit. Because that's where all the anger is fueled towards, you know.
I think according to Brett Wilkin, Nick even wants to see him bounce back too.
Yeah,
which is obviously still respectable. Hopefully, it doesn't just show that like, oh, Nick and Andrew are being respectable, and Martin is not. Like, we don't know what Martin's doing behind closed doors. Now he's off of social media.
Just need some time.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotional. It's going to be all emotional reactiveness at this point. It just seems like it's hard for him to pull himself out of that hole right now.
He needs to put the phone down and go watch some solo leveling and
solo leveling. Yeah.
Thanks, Jared. Jared Feather, great recommendation, bro. Jesus. Oh, yeah. That's like my new favorite series.
Yeah, I love it. Jared has he has solo leveling on his wallpaper and his phone case.
I was so entertained those 2 seasons, and it's not slow like Dragon Ball or Fist of the North, like Fist of the North Star and Dragon Ball. So slow in the leveling up. This is like every fucking episode, you got another fucking 1,000 experience points. And he's, by the end of season 2, he's basically a god. So I can't imagine what level 3 would be. Season 3 would be 2 more years. I think it comes out. But yeah, that's what he needs to watch. Martin, if you're watching, solo leveling, it will do you good.
Okay, last thing I wanted to ask you before the Q&A. If you're doing one of these preps, or you say you're doing 2 preps or 3 preps in a row because you're competing in the pro stage as a classic competitor, what would you do for oxidative stress and for long-term health as you're prepping?
Look into mitochondrial health, right? So by taking steroids, you minimize the function and the vitality of your mitochondria, because steroids increase oxidative stress. So what you need to do is minimize the oxidative stress that you give to the mitochondria. You can do that with injectable glutathione or N-acetylcysteine, which produces glutathione. You can combine that with glycine, which seems to produce more glutathione when you take glycine and acetylcysteine.
It's Mike's supplement that I was
touching
using.
The wire, so I'm gonna not move.
Oh no, you're good.
Yeah,
but, I was saying it's a supplement I was using throughout my prep, and it kept my blood work really good. Was Mike's Life Support. It's literally injectable glutathione, injectable NAC, glutamine.
Glutamine probably, it's for gut support.
Choline, taurine,
health supports.
There's a bunch of there's like one more I think, but just
like so that kind of stuff. All of that is just to keep your health going. If you just make sure that you stay as healthy as possible, which is, I mean, you'll not stay healthy during prep, but you can stay as healthy as possible. And you have health supplements for that, and health ancillaries, and controlling your estrogen, controlling your oxidative stress, controlling your digestion. I think that's a very big thing. And making sure your mitochondria are still firing, because you're literally damaging your mitochondria by taking steroids. So you have your antioxidants in place, your injectable glutathione, your N-acetylcysteine, your vitamin E, your vitamin C, your estrogen, which acts as an antioxidant in the endothelium, so you keep your cardiovascular system healthy. Ubiquinol is a good antioxidant. NAD+ is a good antioxidant, and helps with the electron donors in enzymatic reactions. Magnesium intake needs to be there. Let's see, ubiquinol, NAD+ we already got. So I think if you focus on all of those things and you keep your mitochondria healthy, then upregulating mitochondrial function with methylene blue, MOTC, SS31, I think it's very beneficial. I just prepared for the SS31 deep dive.
Someone was asking for that in the Q&A.
Yeah, so the paperwork is basically done. I just need to record it when I get back to Thailand. So to give you guys a summary, SS31 protects the mitochondria from oxidative stress and prevents the mitochondrial membrane from leaking. So when you upregulate the mitochondria with methylene blue, SLU-PP33-2, MOTC, you might create oxidative stress from the mitochondria themselves. So you protect the membrane with SS31, which binds to cardiolipin and strengthens and solidifies the mitochondrial membrane that way. So basically, it's insulation for your mitochondria. Now, there's a lot of mitochondria in your kidneys. SS31 accumulates predominantly in the kidneys. Where do bodybuilders have problems? In their kidneys. Trenbolone, kidney toxic. Boldenone, kidney toxic, certainly proven with scientific evidence. Boldenone to a certain extent. Dianabol, to a certain extent.
We had this conversation last time, though, that trenbolone isn't necessarily directly kidney toxic.
No, it's through blood pressure, through oxidative stress, and that kind of stuff. And it's never been studied in the context of kidney stress, but Dianabol and Boldenone has. So you can assume that all the other steroids, particularly trenbolone, has some sort of kidney toxicity. It just hasn't been studied, so we can extrapolate. And part of that is through the oxidative stress. You can clearly see that in the scientific evidence from Boldenone, that a large portion of the kidney, the negative effects on the kidneys is through oxidative stress. Because when you combine Boldenone with antioxidants, like vitamin C and a couple other ones, I mentioned it in deep dive. I just can't remember it off the top of my head. Boldenone potentiates oxidative stress in the kidneys, and through the mitochondrial problems that it creates kidney damage. And by lowering estrogen is also protective in the kidneys.
Okay.
So that's why Boldenone is like a double whammy. Oxidative stress and lowering your estrogen creates kidney problems.
Gotcha.
But if you keep your estrogen in range and you prevent oxidative stress, then technically you should be able to take Boldenone, especially if you combine it with SS31.
Okay.
So if you upregulate mitochondrial function with methylene blue, SLU-PP33-2, MOTC, then you need to put SS31 in place to protect the mitochondria, optimize its function, protect the kidneys, the heart, the cardiovascular system, and all the things that are bad for the mitochondria, including contrast dye during a CT scan. SS31 or SS31 protects against that. It protects against oxidative stress from smoking. So if you smoke cigars or you vape, SS31 protects against the oxidative stress that you get from vaping or smoking or cigars. It's amazing. It's an amazing compound. So I think SS31 at doses between 5 to 10 milligrams can be protective, preventative, and a dose just, let's say, 20 to 40 milligrams daily, so that's 4 whole vials, can be reversing. That's the medical dose where it reverses issues with the mitochondria. So again, the protective dose is 5 to 10 milligrams, and the reversal dose is 20 to 40 milligrams.
Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
and that's actually been studied in humans.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to be the next best thing. Now, a lot of people are already running it, but nobody has done the research yet, the real research. So don't worry, the deep dive will be there. You can watch it. It'll be long and lengthy with full citations. And then you will understand that SS31 will be a game changer regarding health parameters.
I literally got these from your deep dive. And so I started using SS31, MOTC, 5-amino-1-MQ,
Right.
And methylene blue during the end of my prep from APR Health Solutions and Live Alpha Labs. And I'm pretty sure that, along with the like the injectable glutathione and everything, was the reason that I had perfect blood work a week after the show.
And perfect skin, and good mood, and good energy levels.
The wind stroll did fuck up the skin, though, at the end.
Really?
The last
Okay.
like 1 week or 2 weeks. Yeah. I got like acne here in the chest.
Okay,
and the back.
okay. You get a little bit of the craters, and the skin starts to look like.
Yeah,
I know.
but the blood work was really fucking great. Even HDL and LDL were both within range. It was like was a ratio 1.2 or 1.4 or something.
Okay,
And
that's
then
good.
even
If
liver
you're
enzymes were
preventative,
pretty
you can get pretty good blood work even after prep, and just look better, feel better, be energetic, be productive. No prep brain, no drama, no emotional roller coaster. So maybe Martin hasn't been watching the channel. I know he watches. I know. So maybe you missed a couple ingredients. But I think if you put everything in place, and yes, your cycle will be a lot more expensive. You have to do a lot more injections, and your morning and evening and afternoon routine is going to be a little bit more lengthy. But I think you can save yourself a lot of problems further down the line. And I always like it when people tell me that I have nice skin and look youthful and look radiant, and it's because I do all this shit. Because I see so many bodybuilders, and even in classic physique, they like ashtrays, They look old and weathered, and you don't have to. You just have to take more shit, unfortunately, and take less drugs. Take lower dosages. Yeah, don't hammer the trembolone sandwich so much.
See the peptides, baby.
Yeah, peptides galore.
I forgot the last thing I was going to ask. Whatever. All right, let's jump to this Q&A.
Cool.
Oh, also, given that everyone's doing their cardio and like eating decently healthy and with variety, right?
Yeah, it helps a lot. Daily fasted cardio helps your insulin sensitivity and your lipids, and it just gets the day started. And it's just a good way to promote nutrient partitioning and keep you lean even during the off season. And eating healthy, I think that's pretty much a given. Unless you're on holiday and traveling, I think there's no excuse. Just cook your goddamn meals. And even when you go out, like today, I went to this North Outlet Mall, and there's so much crappy food there. But there's one place where they serve vegetables with chicken and some sesame seeds and avocado. And then you go easy on the sauce, and you can mix up yourself a pretty healthy meal. Some sort of bowl with a little bit of rice. That's what I ate. Digest well, no bloating, no gas. But if I went to another restaurant, like some chain restaurant, and eat whatever they had there, then I'd be a bloated mess right now, I'm sure.
God, there's so many fucking questions for you, dude. This is ridiculous.
Pick the most spicy ones.
Wyatt Booble. I'm sorry, Wyatt. I said your name wrong. Booble. Booble. Wyatt asks if he wants to go out to dinner with us. Wyatt's the guy you met at the expo with me, Jared Feather's friend.
Yeah, we can go tonight. Is he here?
Yeah, we're all here. We're all here in Vegas.
So let's go out to dinner after this.
Yeah.
I'm gay, man. I got no fucking plans besides now.
Yeah.
And the poodle room tomorrow at Fontainebleau. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Oh, this is public.
Yeah. Oh, they won't be able to go. I got invited.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, let's go somewhere, man. I'm starving.
I know, me too, man.
I had a shake and that little bowl at the South Outlet.
I thought I was eating a lot at the Arnold, bro, but like I come back, I'm the exact same weight that I left at. So maintenance all weekend because of all that walking.
Yeah, me too, man. I lost like 5 pounds.
Ugh.
And I ate quite a bit of cheesecake every day.
Yeah.
I'm on holiday.
I had a lot of
man.
home style Rice Krispies around my workouts. Tons, bro.
That I don't do. I don't like food from a bag, man. I can't.
Oh, man.
Okay, I had some licorice. Somebody brought me a kilo of
some licorice. Such an unk thing.
A friend of, Colton Lukes, right? Coach Colton, who has his YouTube channel, just broke 100K subs. It's kind of like Derek and Johnny Bravo reaction content.
Okay.
So he, a buddy of his from the UK who's traveled a lot, he watches my YouTube channel. It's like, I brought you some licorice. I'm like, oh no. Yeah, I brought a kilo.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
A kilo's crazy.
I got so many gifts at the expo. It was great, man. I got cigars and licorice and baklava and a boatload of peptides. And yeah, people know how to make me happy, dude. It's amazing.
It's awesome.
It's amazing.
If you ever want some Young LA clothes, I got you too.
Yeah.
Dan Carver asks, healing stack for belt lipectomy.
A what?
Lipectomy? What is that?
I don't know.
Lipectomy?
I'm not a doctor, nor do I claim to be. But a general healing stack is 1 milligram TB500. You can split that up or double the dose, morning and evening. Has a short half-life, so take it twice per day. Same as BBC 157. Sorry?
Every day?
Every day until you're healed.
How come there's a lot of, like if you look up TB 500, like dosing protocol on Google, for example, you see a lot of like every other day protocols.
I don't know.
It's like 2 milligrams every other day.
It's active for 4 hours.
Yeah.
So why not do it continuously? After your surgery, you might want to wait 1 or 2 weeks to let your body do its natural thing. You get the inflammation out of the way. And then you don't create like, what is it called? Keloids, the bundle of scar tissue, collagen that builds up. But then once that's out of the way, then a half a milligram to 1 milligram TB500 and BPC 157 twice per day. You can either take a growth hormone secretagogue to get 3 or 4 different kinds of growth hormone with different molecular weights, or take actual growth hormone. So you could take your MK677 before bed, and you get the 22, the 23, 24, and another variant of that molecular weight growth hormone. That's kilodaltons. Take 30 milligrams MK677 before bed every single day to boost your appetite so you can actually eat while you're recovering. Or you take actual growth hormone once or twice per day with your BPC 157. But because, especially if you have a tendon issue, like you tore your labrum or you have a pec tear or a bicep tear, when you take BPC 157, it increases the growth hormone receptor density in your connective tissue. So while the BPC 157 is active, you would take some growth hormone alongside of that twice per day to facilitate additional healing. Because now you take growth hormone and there's more receptors. Logically speaking, you would create some synergy there. And then the IGF-1 would be elevated, right? You could take GHK copper to promote collagen synthesis at the site of injury. You could take collagen peptides, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, that's collagen type 1, 2, and 3, right? Collagen 1 and 3 from hydrolyzed bovine hide, and collagen type 2 from connective tissue of chickens. That goes well together. Take 2 servings of that twice per day. So it's 20 grams twice per day. And then silica helps with collagen synthesis. Curcumin maybe to lower inflammation, but that also lowers IGF-1, so you might want to take that once per day. I think that's a pretty general healing stack. Oh, yeah, Anavar.
Okay.
Anavar. Can't forget the Anavar.
Yeah.
10 milligrams twice per day. And stay in a little bit of TRT. Yeah.
So all the things that I would take out 3 weeks before show.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't want too much collagen synthesis because that makes your skin thicker.
Yeah. I just really wanted to try.
I know Justin Harris doesn't like my collagen approach to white fish, but I still think it's valid.
You mean the white? Oh, the
white fish diet and taking Winstrol.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah,
I like the idea.
Yeah, it works.
It makes sense.
It works, Justin. Come on now, man. I should have talked with him when I saw him at the Troponin booth.
Yeah.
I was supposed to. Justin, I love you, man, but one thing, bro, I can't. It's white fish and the Winstrol and the Masterone.
The only thing I'm worried about is the cortisol that it would increase in me just from having to only eat stinky white fish.
That's what the GLP-1 is there for, man.
Oh my god, dude! I feel like the GLP-1 will just make make it worse.
I know.
Having
you
to down that white
cod
fish
6
is
times
gross,
a day,
bro.
or flounder 6 times
So
per
disgusting,
day.
man. It smells the entire building.
Steak herbs, man. Steak herbs on your fish.
Steak herb.
Yeah. McCormick steak herbs.
When I hear McCormick's, I just think of the shit that I drank during college.
Ah. So McCormick, the weird thing is, in Asia, it has like dry rub, right? And it has no sugar. And then I wanted to buy like all the McCormick's here in America. Dude, it's loaded with sugar. What the hell? What are you doing?
Then like a seasoning?
I couldn't find any dry rub seasoning here without sugar.
It's kind of surprising.
America.
Yeah. Trying to make it a little addictive.
Yeah, you need some sugar on everything.
Garza Samuel asks, did y'all hear about the current Belagus mishap?
No, I did not. But I can ask the owner.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll get that answer next time.
Trending topic on Reddit. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about it, and people would usually complain straight to me if there's a problem. So,
Dan Carver asks, why did bodybuilders look so different on stage in the 70s and 80s? Milos looked light to test and looked different.
Because also had different lighting.
Yeah, I was going to say the lighting is a huge
The lighting
thing,
is huge different.
The lighting was so much...
They got way more shadows.
So fucking sick back then.
And the cameras were different, you know? I mean, they had fucking Polaroids and turn cameras.
That's why I tell people, like, whenever they're... That's why I prefer the phone pictures whenever I compete. When I go on stage, I prefer people take the phone picture for me than a normal camera because it's like...
Just pay Gilko his money and have him shoot you. Dude, Gilko is the best fucking photographer.
Yeah, he's awesome.
I honestly wanted to change my flights to go to the Detroit Pro because I know he does the lighting and the shooting, but I want to see my daughter more, you know, so I'm not going.
Yeah.
But the Detroit Pro, I think now is the best production. So yeah, people look different because back then they had a black backdrop, they had no LEDs, they didn't have the crazy lighting like they do now, and the bodybuilders are just in more condition now, but the lighting is different.
Well, I would
prefer
say
the look
the
of
argument.
classic physique. I mean, those guys.
I would argue classic is more conditioned now, but not open is not more conditioned.
You don't think that Nick Walker was conditioned?
Oh, I think Nick Walker was definitely conditioned for sure.
You don't think Heidi Chupan is conditioned, not this show, but the previous shows?
Yeah, Heidi just has that problem where his genetics in his back.
2025 was conditioned?
Ronnie Coleman 2005.
Or, yeah, 2005, where he walked out like...
Oh, versus like the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
Oh.
They just had more favorable lighting.
Yeah, no, I wasn't thinking about... Sorry, that my bad, guys. 70s and 80s, yeah.
Yeah.
Guys are more conditioned than 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
My fault.
In the 90s, they were conditioned, yeah.
I think I was thinking...
They still had that favorable lighting. If you look at the...
I was thinking more about the 90s.
Do you remember the British Grand Prix? That's like where everybody looked freaky, dude.
Okay, then yeah, probably.
Kevin Lervoni, Milo Sarchev.
Yeah, that's the picture that Milos always posts, right?
Yeah,
With the four of them?
I think that's from the British Grand Prix in 1990 or 2000 or I don't know, decades ago, basically. And even what was his name? Flex Wheeler. He looked phenomenal. He was fucking fat. He was just eating the whole time on that European tour. Because if you see pictures of the European tour, most of those guys were pretty chunky by that time. They just ate whatever they want. It's like a little guest posing circuit. But that British Grand Prix, the lighting was so favorable that they all look amazing. Yeah. So things change. Don't feel bad that things are changing.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Personal question, coming from one of my last recent podcasts. Do you feel like high dose long term growth hormone use over the course of say like 10 years will make you? I guess will just
make your dick bigger? Yes.
Oh, that would be nice. I kind of need that. Would just make you look softer or like less conditioned on stage?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think it thickens your skin?
No, I think you can mediate that with a proper diet, proper drug protocol, and taking the GH out. Okay. But I think these guys are on so much progesterone or a progesterogenic 19-nors. That's what thickens the skin, not the growth hormone.
Okay.
So it's a boatload of Tren or a boatload of Deca or whatever. And simply not dieting hard enough.
Yeah.
Because I need to be full, bro. I need to be 300 pounds, bro. No. Shut the fuck up, suck down 2,500 calories, take the test out, not run so much goddamn Tren, and actually diet into the show for a change. Because you see it in the back. Like Heidi Chupan from the front, he was conditioned as fuck, especially the second day, right? But from the back, he was still soft.
But that's
he needs 2 more weeks.
Though. He's always like that.
No, he's been in shape.
Yeah, but his back has always been lagging from his front. It's always been a thing for him.
Yeah, but he could, on some shows, it's not as obvious. But I think it's just the drug use in open bodybuilding that they take so many milligrams that it thickens the skin. I don't necessarily think it's from the growth hormone.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just love talking these theories because everybody has a slightly different theory.
Yeah.
But not that they're all wrong or, you know what I mean? I mean, I feel like it all can contribute. That's the thing, right?
Because some guys in open come in perfect condition, and they run growth hormone all the way into the show. But of course, you have your individual response with that as well.
I had to ask that because Phil believes like long-term growth hormone. I'm pretty sure he said that, may think in the skin. And then the other theory was from Justin Harris that growth hormone can really help in size in a few years, but he thinks that it starts causing some unwanted changes in your proportions, say like 10 years down the line, if you're running it very
with the
high.
waist and stuff. Yeah. So, I mean, again, if you feel it's such a culprit, do a prep without it. See what changes.
I like your idea, though, of the 3 to 5, like on the weakest muscle groups. Yeah. I really like that idea.
Yeah. Well, would it solve the issues of a thicker waist and a thicker skin? Probably not.
But I feel like that's a great option, though, definitely for minimizing side effects and also minimizing any small, tiny potential insulin resistance increase.
Right. So it's more the acute side effects, like carpal tunnel and insulin resistance and water retention, but the long-term side effects of bigger hands, bigger feet, bigger waist, thicker skin. Maybe. I don't know. Somebody does it for 10 years and report back to us. Let us know. My skin is still pretty thin, man. I mean, it's not here, but my forearm. And
plus, we're all aging anyways.
Yeah.
Damn, that was only like 3 questions out of like 100.
100. It's like a Vigorous Q&A. Just nonstop keeps going, man. Did anybody super chat? We'll take those.
What's the ideal summer stack to look lean and full before/while?
Cigarettes and cocaine. Just get in shape, man. Women don't. If you want to be lean for summer, the women are not going to be able to tell the difference. All the bros are going to be able to tell the difference. But who do you want to bang? If you want to bang the bros, fine. Right? TRT, high primo, a little bit of master, and a little bit of winstrol. Basically, something similar you would do for classic physique, just not at high dosages. But if you want to bang the chicks, just get lean on a test and GLP-1.
Yeah.
You don't have to be too big. Trust me, dude. Women are far more susceptible to a guy that's not big than, because I know for myself, women are just more responsive to me when I'm on TRT and 225 pounds compared to 275 pounds or 250 pounds.
I'll drop some info.
Then I look like a fucking mess. And then the women probably think I'm a mess too, so they don't want nothing to do with me.
Yeah. And
then I'm on TRT, like at the Expo, this Arnold Classic, I had very good interactions with women. Very friendly and forthcoming. Not that I want to, I'm married, so no dice. But when I'm 275 pounds, the women want nothing to do with me. So if you want to be in shape for summer, then TRT and a GLP-1, man. Maybe some Anavar at the end. And a nice smile and a good personality that goes way further than a good physique.
Something small, yeah. Something small, even like minimal compounds, like 2 compounds, like test and mass or something, or test and primo is normally enough. Like I'll drop some info at this Young LA event, or at the Young LA party. I was talking to a couple Young LA athletes. And I was a fitness influencer once, so I know this because I've done this myself.
Yeah.
But they, for example, were asking for some advice and stuff, and blah blah blah. And I was
send them to my channel. I think a lot of Young LA and Gorilla athletes could benefit from watching my channel.
Oh no, I think it would help a lot, but I think your information also will probably go over a lot of their heads.
You're never too young to learn.
Yeah. I remember when I first saw your channel, I was like, I have no clue what he's saying, but I love it.
Yeah, well, there's a learning curve, and I did that on purpose, because if you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're a little bit early in the hormone game. But if you know what I'm talking about, then you actually know what these compounds are going to do to your body and how to mediate the issues.
But anyways, these guys are like, for example, like fitness influencers that are like, the kind on TikTok that are like doing their poses and everything and shit, and then also have that on Instagram Reels.
All physique, no brain.
And don't say that. No, if you're watching.
That's what those guys
watching, I love you,
bite
bro.
to shoot themselves in the foot, because literally all they are physique, and as soon as they're injured or they come off cycle, they have nothing else.
A lot of them are smart enough to invest in like long form content though, like
smart.
YouTube channels and everything that.
Show the personality a little
bit.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah. He was running tests and mass, and he's doing the same thing I used to, but I used to rotate mass E and then come off of it. He does, for example, mass prop for like 4 weeks and then comes off for like 3 weeks and then goes back on for 4 weeks and 3 weeks. That way, because he keeps the crispiness and he can shoot when the mass prop saturates and he looks crispy, and then when he comes off, he can shoot less. And then exactly.
Buffers,
which is what a lot of fucking fitness influencers do. I don't know if he's open about his gear use, but if you're not open about your gear use, I'm pretty sure that's what a lot of fitness influencers.
Most of the guys that I know would just stay on a low dose, TRT and a little bit of master on a primo, just stay on year round.
Yeah, but I don't think staying on year round, you don't get the same crispy look. Just like you said, you and I talked about, where coming off for like 12 weeks, for example, you respond better. I find the cosmetic effect isn't as pronounced if you're staying on year round,
Yeah.
So.
But these guys don't run much, right? Maybe 200 tests, 200 master.
Yeah, just
I
a
think
small
you can run it year round to stay crispy. Maybe they lose motivation. Maybe they got too much social media dinners and Cheesecake Factory cheesecakes. I'm not crispy. I'm not responding to master. I said, no, bro, you ate like an asshole.
Well,
I don't look crispy now compared to when I left. I mean, I haven't been following the routine.
Back when I was doing it, and obviously I never claimed natty. I just didn't tell people back at the time.
Right.
I was just like, just doing my shit. And people obviously already
You didn't
knew.
inject, so it's okay.
Well, when I started injecting,
Mr. Oral
when I
on the
started
side.
injecting, yeah, people already knew I was on gear because I was an IFBB pro. So that was the argument in the
So
comments.
funny, you know. Imagine all the kids watching your show. Yeah, but Niall turned pro in an oral only cycle. Terrible. Then they're gonna copy your shit.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. Good luck.
What was I going to say? Oh, when I would like run, for example, mass and F8, 16 weeks. I would look insane at 16 weeks. But then if I ran at like the 20-week mark, I would start to soften up.
Yeah.
And then we would start getting a little softer and a little softer again. And that's where I was like, all right, 16 weeks, I'll come off. And then I'll rest another 16 weeks or so. And then I'll go back on another 16 weeks. And it's basically how it was. But the 16
now
weeks
they
off
do
was
4
very
weeks
much
on,
filming.
4 weeks off.
What's up?
4 weeks on, 4 weeks off for test probe.
Or
a master on probe.
Yeah.
Okay.
assuming
If
that's
it
what
works
they're
for
doing,
you, it works for
probably.
you, man. If you figure that out and then you're able to monetize that look, then by all means, I'm all for it. It's not good for gaining size, but it's probably not what they want. They want a certain look. Most of these influencers look kind of small. When I saw them at the booths.
Yeah, well,
Which is fine.
they can decide
I mean,
themselves
there's a market
if they
for
feel
small
more.
also. Small and sexy. Small and shredded, It's probably more desired than big and puffy.
I don't know how good of a question this is.
Skip it if you're not sure.
Daniel Allen Bradley wants you to just talk more about modafinil.
I stopped using it.
Yeah, how come?
So I used 50 milligrams per day for like 5 to 6 years. And then I stopped taking it because I found some scientific evidence that it wasn't good for fertility. So when I wanted to get my wife pregnant, I was like, okay, if there's no scientific evidence pro-fertility, even if it's a hint of negative on your fertility, I'm not going to take it. So I stopped taking it for 1.5 years. And then I took 50 milligrams again because wife was pregnant and embryos were ready. I took 50 milligrams and then it just gave me a headache.
Uh-huh.
And it was the exact same stuff that I took before, the pharmaceutical Provigil stuff or the Modawake. So I didn't take it for a week, took 50 milligrams again, gave me a headache.
Damn.
So I don't know what changed. I guess I got old.
That's the crazy thing, right? That's the fun thing about talking about all this shit on the podcast is like you don't know what compound or what drug or what medication
Maybe
might start affecting you
because,
differently
like,
years down the road.
before I wasn't running fluvoxamine, which is an SSRI. Then I combined modafinil with fluvoxamine. It was great. But then I took the modafinil out. I took the fluvoxamine out for 1.5 years. I came back on fluvoxamine. But then I added in the methylene blue, which is a MAOI inhibitor, right? So that also raises serotonin and dopamine levels. And modafinil has some dopaminergic and serotonergic effects, which are unclassified. They don't really know how or why, or at least the last time I was researching it a while ago, they don't know where that dopaminergic and serotonergic effect is coming from. So if you're combining a MAOI inhibitor in the form of methylene blue with a selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor in the form of fluvoxamine with modafinil, that might give you a headache. But I get more benefits out of methylene blue and fluvoxamine than I do out of, oh, that's the middle finger, than I do out of modafinil. So pick your poison, right? I go with the compounds that make me feel the best.
Okay.
But yeah, I built a lot of wealth and security, and I was very productive on modafinil. So I'm pro modafinil, even though it doesn't work for me anymore. Would I be willing to switch to methylene blue for modafinil? No.
Even if you like just tried it at a much lower dose again, now that you've had time
lower
off.
than 25 milligrams. You cut those 200 milligram tablets in 8. I could, but I don't know. I like my 10 milligrams with methylene blue and 25 milligrams fluvoxamine.
Yeah.
Yeah, or 50 milligrams fluvoxamine. Yeah.
And both of those together, they don't cause you
All
serotonin syndrome.
of those three together would give me a headache.
But those two together don't cause you serotonin syndrome?
Fluvoxamine and methylene blue, no. But methylene blue and vortioxetine, that's another SSRI, which is apparently more neurogenic than fluvoxamine. Yeah, I had full-blown serotonin syndrome. I was hot, sweaty, salivating, hallucinating. Yeah, 3 milligrams methylene blue and 2.5 milligrams vortioxetine. I was fucked.
Okay.
Yeah, vortioxetine killed my libido and killed my dick, so that went in the trash. Can't have none of that.
I was just thinking of like, I feel like there's also the potential possibility that maybe it's just maybe you just don't react the same to it anymore too.
Yeah,
Kind of like how like, you know, like someone smokes weed and then all of a sudden it doesn't react the same for them later on. Like they start getting anxiety.
Right.
Lexi, she was on Prozac before. She didn't have any issues. Then she stopped Prozac for several weeks cold turkey. Decided to jump back on it. And the second time around when she was back on it, ended up getting all of the sexual dysfunction, stimulation, libido.
Did she go back
problems.
in her previous dose, or did she taper back up again?
She just went right back to the previous dose.
Yeah, maybe that's it.
So
I can't run agmatine. I can't run agmatine sulfate anymore. The pre-workout, the alpha receptor stimulator, alpha adrenergic receptor activator agonist. I can't run it anymore. It just makes me feel weird as fuck.
It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, and I used to live off that shit as a pre-workout. Oh man, I loved my agmatine. And combined it with your Himbine, you got an activator and a blocker, but both of those together would give me the crazy contractions. And now I can't run it anymore. So a lot of the cool pre-workouts are off the menu. So I use the Gorilla Base, which is just basic creatine and citrulline malate, basically. And then add some electrolytes and essential amino acids and some collagen, and I'm good to go. But anything with agmatine, I can barely run. Yeah, my body's falling apart, dude.
I couldn't eat peanut butter.
After 40, it's not fun anymore.
I couldn't eat peanut butter when I was a kid, and then when I was 22 years old, like I was able to eat jars of peanut butter for like 3 months.
So you gained something in life.
I can't eat peanut butter again.
Really?
But now it's not. I'm not deathly allergic to it though, so it's not a problem. But the allergy is more substantial again.
You got over the anaphylaxis and you ate it again, but now you just don't want to.
Well, now I can't again. Now it's worse again.
Now it's worse.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I know. They do say your allergy change approximately every 7 years.
Oh, right. Yeah, you got that, the biorhythm, right? That's so weird.
Yeah.
So you had a good 7 years of bliss, and now you want to be shredded. Was that? Could you eat the peanut butter when you were like a fat kid?
No.
So it wasn't the peanut butter that got you fat.
No.
Okay, I'm just checking.
There's a lot of things. There's a lot of things.
Twinkies mostly.
I can tell you all of them. Speaking of a lot of things, Boris asks, we need a cheesecake tier list from the father of cheesecake himself.
Man, I love Cheesecake Factory, obviously. But you can't beat a good homemade traditional cheesecake with blueberry topping. And I'm not talking about blueberry pie filling, the chemical one, but real homemade blueberry cooked for hours, adding in some pectin and sugar and a little bit of syrup, And oh man.
Oh, that sounds awesome, dude.
Yeah. And then the one who made it for you, if she's somebody you love, then you can give it to her as a reward. Say thanks for the blueberry cheesecake, and here's your vitamin D. Hey man, nothing gets me hornier than cheesecake, dude. I don't know what it is, all the saturated fat and the sugars, but after cheesecake, I'm ready to go. Yeah, but Cheesecake Factory is I haven't gone yet, but because we have it in Thailand now. But I'll definitely get some cheesecake there. I had cheesecake every day when I was in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh my God, that's
I had
awesome.
a caramel cheesecake, it was a little bit small, and a traditional cheesecake with blueberry or strawberry jam or raspberry, I don't know.
Yes.
And a couple other ones, and it's, yeah. But a nasty cheesecake, one that's 1,500 calories with Snickers and Kit Kat and Oreos, yeah, you got to go to Cheesecake Factory for that. If you don't feel physically nauseous afterwards, you didn't do it right.
Mine are the bazookies. I had a bazooki at the Arnold.
What's that?
You don't know what a bazooki is?
Dude, I don't live in America. I have no idea. Spill the beans.
It's definitely American. The shit you get from BJ's. It's a hot cookie on a skillet. Basically.
That's a BJ too.
It's a hot cookie on a skillet with ice cream on top, but it's like specialized flavors.
That's called a bazooki?
Yeah.
It's like a brownie cookie where everything melts kind of into each other.
Yeah.
Or a regular cookie.
It's more of like a regular cookie, but a brownie cookie would be even better, honestly.
Where would you get those?
BJ's.
BJ's.
Yeah.
We're going to BJ's after this podcast.
That'd be sick, dude.
My body is ready.
Promise I'll change up Patrick when we start up together.
Yeah. Sorry, Steve was in town. I'm a little bit sloppy.
It's his fault. Ken asks, when Steve used Increlex, why did he choose to use it pre-workout instead of post?
So pre-workout, I got a better pump.
Yeah.
And post-workout, I didn't get a pump.
What's the half-life of Increlex?
About 32 to 36 hours.
So it's super long too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it binds to the IGF binding proteins and it just stays active in your system.
Same reason that Patrick and I did IGF-1 LR3 just pre-workout.
It's a long-acting one.
It's not DES. You can just
DES
take it
is
before.
in and out, and I never got anything out of DES, so maybe my sourcing was off. But IGF-1 and LR3 I liked at a vial at a time, so 500 micrograms bilaterally. Just 80-25.
500. Wait. Oh fuck! Never mind.
Yeah, it's 1 milligram.
I forgot my dosing.
Into the chest, bro. Honestly, I think I almost doubled the size of my chest. Usually before it was a little bit flat.
Yeah.
But I think all the Increlex and IGF-1 LR3 I shot in there definitely gave me some localized growth.
I think it worked for me too, for my legs.
Yeah.
I mean, the training, there was a time where I wasn't using it, so the training definitely made the biggest difference just because my training sucked
bump
before.
And the recovery is way better.
Before for legs.
Yeah.
But
so I like a pre-workout because it starts the nutrient partitioning and the insulin-like effects because it also interacts with the insulin receptors.
Doesn't it also not uptake fat like insulin does? Isn't it just like it just uptakes carbohydrates or something?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I should look that up.
You're stumping me here. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
It definitely uptakes amino acids.
Mensch Press says talk about the bathmate study.
Okay, so the funny thing is I did an HCG deep dive, and then they found out in a rodent model that HCG plus penis pumping increases the size of the penis more than HCG alone and penis pumping alone. And then Bathmate reached out, say, we really liked your deep dive. Would you like a Bathmate? I was like, yeah, sure. So I was like, okay, if HCG improves the effectivity of bath, that's the last time I used HCG. If the Bathmate is more effective with HCG, what else can I add? So the protocol was 1,000 IUs HCG every other day. BPC 157 and TB 500, 1 milligram before penis pumping and right above your penis.
Fucking sick.
Cialis, 5 milligrams, just the morning of because it has a long half-life. Growth hormone, 4 IUs to 6 IUs. And and copious amounts of X-Hamster or Pornhub because you need to stay erect in the penis pump while you're using it.
Wow, crazy.
So you're just scrolling, just trying to keep your dick hard for 20 minutes.
Holy shit.
And then I pumped that protocol like 5 times a week. I gained more than an inch in length.
Oh my God, dude.
And an inch in girth.
That's
My wife was not happy. No, she fucking hated it, dude.
Really?
Yeah, she said, this is too much. It's not fun anymore. It hurts.
What a terrible problem to have, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, when you have an Asian wife and a Caucasian, that's not a BWC, but I mean, I can't complain. I didn't need a penis pump before, so I can't complain. I never heard a complaint. Or maybe the women were just like, just poor boy. Let's not piss him off. But yeah, when you put an inch on top and an inch of girth is a lot.
Inch of girth is insane, dude.
It's like a fucking log, basically. And my wife was like, the bathmate's got to go or you got to go. So the bathmate went. But yeah, that protocol after 4 weeks, 6 weeks.
Wow.
Yes.
It's insane.
It just looks, dude, it looks so messy after penis pumping and injecting all that stuff. Your penis literally looks like one of those. You remember you played GTA 3 where you go into or GTA 4 where you sneak into the police station and there's like this pink double-sided dildo that you can find in the police station. And it just flops all around. That's what it felt like. So you have this floppy, pumped up penis that, I don't know, it just looked alien. It looked like your penis had anaphylactic shock.
My Asian cousins, we all have hope. Fuck yeah.
Try it, man. The protocol's on my website. So get yourself a bathmate or one of the competitors, buy all the peptides and run it for 4 to 6 weeks.
We don't all have your problems, Steve, because we're not white guys dating Asian girls. We're Asian gay. Fuck it. We're Asian dudes dating white
Asian
girls.
dudes. Yeah, well, I think with that protocol, you'd be an Asian dude getting one of those southern Amazonian goddesses, With the fucking thick booties and the booty claps. One booty clap in the and the lunk alarm goes off at Platinum Fitness.
Fire.
You can satisfy those girls. Yeah.
Aaron says, if Aaron moves back to the States, will you move too?
No. No, but I really hope he can come back. Yeah. I hope he gets his pro card and gets the finances together to try again. And no, but I will not be moving to the US. I like Thailand. We're looking to buy a house, a bigger house.
Yeah.
Like I don't know, 10,000 feet or something like that.
I want to go on an Asian trip and visit you with Aaron and Jared.
Yeah, you should.
That'd be really fun.
Yeah, you should, man.
Do it this year.
Come to Bangkok. It's a little bit less less offensive than where you went. Yeah, Chiang Mai is nice, but like Phuket is, oh man, can't be seen there.
We made a couple of friends in Bangkok too, so it'd be cool to visit.
Yeah, like all the buddies that you showed at the expo, I think they all want to go too. So just give me some notice and we'll all catch up and I'll take you to the wildest places.
Nice.
You think Vegas is wild?
Honestly, bro, I'm expecting my life here in Vegas to be extremely boring since it's just going to be bodybuilding.
So for the guys that don't know, Niall basically lives in the mountains. It's like literally in the mountains. And you're so far from the strip that, I mean, you might as well take a flight. But you're close to all the gyms.
I bet I'm close to the bodybuilding gyms.
You're close to the good gyms. Yeah.
I'll be traveling a lot, though, this year.
I'm sure.
So, finally getting it out of my system, man.
Yeah, do it.
All the traveling that we were talking about.
Do it. All you need is a home base and then one trip every 3 months and go away for 2 weeks, 1 week.
Plus, it's insane that I'm literally paying $1,900 for this house. Like,
you're really paying $1,900?
Isn't that crazy?
That's insane, dude.
It's awesome, dude. Vegas is so well priced.
Yeah.
And especially coming from California where she and I were paying, it was $5,000 for our house. We were splitting it. And then before I moved in with her, I was paying like $3.5K just for my own place.
For that place in LA that I saw, right?
Yeah, that you were in. It was just so fucking expensive.
The only thing about Vegas is that the strip is really expensive, but you don't have to go there.
Never going there.
No. I like the strip though, but I'm a tourist.
Logan Shreds asks, do you think a teen should take oral BPC for chronic gut problems?
Yeah. So I ran oral TB500, BPC 157, KPV, and GHK copper, and my gut has never been better.
Nice.
Yeah, I ran one tablet of each. So TB500 and BPC 157 were 250 micrograms each, 4 times per day, so that's 1 milligram total. GHK copper was 2 milligrams, I think. That it's 8 milligrams total. KPV was was 500 micrograms. So that's 2 milligrams total. With my regular health sub, like the Tatka and whatnot. And this is the first time I'm in the United States that I don't have gut problems.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. My digestion is really good right now. Yeah. So if you have gut problems, okay, do your elimination diet, fast for a couple of days, and then look into these oral peptides. They are on the doping list, so technically you cannot call yourself a natty if you go with oral BPC. So don't play that game.
This only happened in the last year, right? Because I remember, I'm pretty sure BPC was not on WADA like 2 years ago.
No, they keep watching my channel and keep adding all the spicy stuff in. Don't worry, I'll find something new that's not on the WADA list yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're always ahead, dude.
Yeah, I did oral BPC and KPV. I think also oral TB was in that mix from APR Health Solutions, Mike's peptides during prep and the end of prep.
I think it's very beneficial. I was surprised. I've been doing it for 8 weeks. And my digestion, this is the first time in my life where my digestion is really good. And that's normally it's good during the week because I eat the meals that I'm supposed to be eating that digest well for me. And then in the weekend I eat, a little bit more freely. And sometimes it's just absolute trash because that's what I feel like. Felt depleted, so I need ice cream and cookies. And,
yes.
Why do a clean carb load when you can eat garbage? And then it sits well and I don't have any acid reflux the next day. So this is the first time in the US that I eat liberally and my digestion is good. So I all credit to oral TB 500, BBC 157, KPV, and GHK copper.
Nice.
Yeah. Expensive, but well worth it.
Strict strength. That's a fucking say. I'd love to see you oiled up, bro.
What? I'd love to see what? I'd love to see the fruits of the bathmate protocol. What did he ask?
What? He said, I'd love to see you oiled up.
Oiled up? Oh. I know, they ran it past the wife. Vigorous fans.
Lucius something says, asks, when are you going to acknowledge Niall as your son?
You are my son. Yeah, my illegitimate son that never listens to a word I say. How old are you now?
Anyways, James Cut
How
says
old are
here.
you now?
James Cut says here asks, what do you think of Viz's thoughts on UGLGH?
I've been asked this before, but I don't know what his thoughts are because I don't know. I don't follow Viz.
He just thinks that pharma is just so much better.
It is.
That UGL,
but there's good UGL out there too. So if you really want to nitpick, use good UGL during the off season and pharma during prep, and that's what most guys I know do, because UGL is just so much cheaper. And why spend more money than you need to? Because in the off season, most of your gains come from the food and the training, and the GH is okay. It's beneficial, but I don't think it makes a fucking difference.
But is there a way that we can tell that our UGL GH is actually causing hyperplasia?
Well, you run it for a while, and then you compare it to how you feel for another time that you're running pharma. But there's good 99.7% or 99.9% pharma UGL out there, and it's generic from China, so it's not necessarily UGL. It's just generic medication. Now, I would prefer to run pharma also, but it's expensive and more difficult to get.
Yeah.
So I get UGL generic GH for free. That's what I use. Why would I spend money on fucking pharma when I can get good Chinese generics that test at 36 nanograms per deciliter after a serum check? Mm-hmm. And that rates my IGF-1 just the same. Are there some impurities in there that make me hold a little bit more water? Probably. Do I mind? Not really, because I'm not 6% body fat. So, I mean, money plays a role. But if you're a hardcore bodybuilder that does OnlyFans to pay the bills and needs Serostim because you need to win a show, okay, then go with Serostim. But like most of our audience is not hardcore bodybuilders like Phil Viz that only think about one thing. Like, oh, you got to win shows, do or die. I mean, maybe Phil Viz needs a lot of Serostim to finally win his pro card. So, good luck, Phil.
There's too many shots being shot right now.
Yeah. I think for most people, generics are fine. Is pharmaceutical GH better? Absolutely. Is pharmaceutical Primo better than Underground Lab Primo? Absolutely. Was pharmaceutical Trenbolone better than UGL Train? I'm not sure. It was in Arachidol, which is inflammatory for some people. But yeah, it's costs matter, dude.
I don't really understand what this guy's saying. Rip flaming penis.
Rip flaming penis? I don't know, maybe he went to Thailand and didn't strap penis.
Up. He asks about sub-Q tan. He says, these are the words he's saying. It just says, about sub-Q, Tanner says to never do it. Steve says you might as well always do it.
Go with the guy that's the veteran. I love you, Tanner. I do sub-Q cycles, yeah. It just leaves some lumps and bumps. Mm-hmm. And if Tanner doesn't like the lumps and bumps and the slower release, then go with intramuscular. There's something to say for both, man. I never forced the sub-Q cycles on people. I just said that it was possible. And if you do your TRT and you want to do 2 shots a week and you like more stable levels, do 2 shots sub-Q per week. But if you go to a 2-gram cycle, then you probably need MCT oil intramuscularly because you're pinning so much fucking oil. So it depends on what you're doing.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I don't like about the sub-Q shots is that, I did a sub-Q shot yesterday or 2 days ago when I left Columbus because somebody donated half a cc of test to me because they didn't bring it. And yeah, I could feel it sit there as a little marble underneath the skin. And when I take my pants off, then there's a little bump there. Now, my wife doesn't mind. And I won't take my pants off at anywhere else besides the wife publicly. So nobody's going to see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if you do a proper cycle, then sub-Q is a bit hard. Okay. Because you have so many of these little bumps. And then your ass or your upper quads or wherever you inject just gets thicker.
Yeah. I do the whole injecting sub-Q kind of like the lower ass cheeks where you can't see
Yeah,
it. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of where I do most of it. But even then, it's like dude, the buildup
After a
is
while, it just
annoying.
thickens up. So for
does.
TRT, it's okay. And I did it for a full cycle up to a gram of gear.
Yeah.
But then your skin just get thicker, and then you get this like
Right.
this fat area on your ass.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's why, I like doing since I'm doing so many peptides at Q already, then just doing
Yeah.
the gear. I am.
If you got
test.
good gear, it absorbs pretty fast and it doesn't leave scar tissue, you know. So
I did get some Primo 200 milligrams.
No,
but it just it's painful.
no, it's not good. Not a good idea.
Yeah, just because it's just
Too many super solvents in there.
Yeah. Okay.
150 maximum, but just stick with 100. MCT oil, 100 milligrams methanoline enanthate, a little bit of benzobenzoate, benzoyl alcohol, suspense just fine. And it's better to inject 2 cc's to get 200 milligrams and have it absorb rapidly without post-injection pain than inject 1 cc that causes post-injection pain and inflammation and doesn't absorb because there's so much activity going on at the injection site. And then that 200 milligrams is just going to sit there. Because your body's like, not today, bro. I don't want it.
Okay.
You know? So, no, I don't like 200 milligrams.
What if, since I already have these bottles,
Give it to a friend who's not.
what if I just do half of the 200 and half of 100? So then technically it's 150.
Yeah, but the super solvents you're not taking out. I don't know, man. I wouldn't risk it. But
Okay.
I know. 200 milligrams is a lot of Primo, and it's hard
Fine.
to come by.
I'll listen to Dad this once. There's a lot of good questions. The good thing is a lot of these questions we actually already answered in the beginning
Previous
of the podcast,
ones?
which is cool.
Yeah.
Like, for example, Jesse asking, is there a need to sensitize to AAA to anabolic steroids by coming off?
Yeah.
If blood work is good, keep blasting? Something
Yeah,
that we
keep,
kind of
keep
discussed
blasting
already.
until you lose response to the blast, and then you still need to come off.
Yeah, I agree.
It's okay to come off, guys. You don't have to be saucy the whole fucking year. You can still stay big or respectable.
Christian
on
Nor-
TRT.
Christian Nortel asks, nootropic stacks for job interviews, talking to women like Solink, CMAX, and Phenibut.
I think those are all fine. Just individually, what makes you feel the best? Like for the for the Arnold Classic booth, I was on 10 milligrams methylene blue, 10 milligrams dihexa, and 25 milligrams
If you're talking to
bromantane.
women, you should add some GHB in there. That's a good nootropic.
Yeah, huge B in it that make you fluent in fucking just 1 mil. Oh man, 1 mil of GHB, you can talk to anybody. Or a microdose of LSD that makes you very fluent.
You might
also.
do some other things too.
Yeah.
Might not necessarily be.
But yeah,
appropriate.
nootropics, I think, for me, the most productive, like long-term productivity, 25 milligrams bromantane, 10 milligrams dihexa, and 10 milligrams methylene blue. And I can talk the whole day. I talk the whole day from 9 in the morning to 7 in the evening. No naps. I was focused and sharp and attentive. And that was a good stack.
I don't like too much dehexa myself because I feel like it exacerbates my ADHD a little bit.
Yeah, so if that exacerbates it, then you need like Salang to kind of calm you down
Yeah.
and give you like tunnel focus.
Yeah, the Salang helps a lot.
Yeah. But I don't have
Salang helps a lot for me
ADHD.
in so many
I'm a
areas.
sleepy guy, so I like stimulants.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Damn, this stuff's fun.
Yeah, for women, man, just be yourself. There's always a lid for the jar or whatever it is. You know?
This is a cool one. C. Jeffrey asks, regarding health subs, should you take everything year round or only wait for labs/symptoms?
Like micronutrients that you can't get from your diet or supplement with your diet, like a multivitamin or vitamin C or whatever, those you can take year round. And then some of them increase in dosage or you run as needed. So if you're on TRT and a cycle, then you would run citrus bergamot and amla extract to improve your lipids. But if you're only doing TRT, then I think either citrus bergamot or amla extract is enough. You don't need to combine it. But on cycle, you should combine it. Same with Tatka. You can run 250 milligrams on TRT on the cruising dose. And then as the orals come in, you might go to a gram per day, like 250 milligrams 3 times per day or 4 times per day. N-acetylcysteine can be 2,000 milligrams year-round. Magnesium can be 800 to 1,200 milligrams year-round. Vitamin D, 5,000 IUs year-round. Vitamin K, the K complex from Gero Formulas, 1 capsule year-round. And again, the health supplements to improve your blood work might go up and down depending on how much gear you're running. Astragalus root extract, 3,000 milligrams to 6,000 milligrams, depending on how much gear you're running. Ezetimibe, you probably don't need on TRT, but you'd certainly need on a cruise or on a cycle. Telmisartan, you probably don't need on TRT, but you probably need it on a cycle. Right? So as your cycle changes, you cycle through your ancillaries.
Yeah.
But the general health supplements, they just stay in year round.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Tyler Sibley asks thoughts on TAC, TAK 653, and ACD 856 nootropics.
Never heard of them.
I have not.
But I've been out of the loop for 9 months being a good father. So there's a lot of new stuff.
Has it been 9 months?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. There's a lot of good stuff, new stuff that people ask me about, but I haven't heard of it or I haven't done the research because I've been a little bit out of the loop.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm getting a little bit outdated, getting old. But it's because I haven't been so focused on PEDs and nootropics. Yeah,
it's crazy how much fatherhood. Yeah,
that's more important to me. I hate to say it, but instead of researching about compounds, I research about how to introduce the first meals to my daughter, right? And how to blend them and progressively blend them less so she can chew a little bit more, or how to brush her teeth, or that's more important to me. So I don't know about TAC or this or that. I know SS31 that's been around for a while, and I'll make a deep dive on that. And ICAR and ISO, it's an impossible name. So all the stuff that I know about, and then if something gets popular and more people ask about it, I'll do the research. But I remember, like, I did so many deep dives on stuff that nobody knew about, and then it took like five amino bottom Q, man. I was the first one to talk about it. Now this last year, people are finally catching on, and I don't mind being the first, but I also need a little bit of ROI on the research, because if nobody's going to watch it because nobody knows about it besides this guy, then I get one view. I'd rather get 10,000 views. So let it become popular first, and then I'll do the research. Yeah. So wait a bit. And guys, it's okay to do your own research instead of waiting for my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't always need my approval to do something. I'm not your daddy, unlike Niall. Last one, then we're going to eat, bro.
Yeah.
I'm starving.
Yeah.
Make sure it's good and spicy. I like spicy questions. A lot of those questions, huh?
God, there's just so many, man.
Guys, I have a Vigorous Q&A every Saturday, unless I'm traveling. Super Gel helps you skip the queue because I get a lot of questions. But just come ask these questions on the Vigorous Q&A.
I also just love having Steve on, so we're going to save these questions for next time.
All right.
The Fit Executive asks, what's the one compound or peptide that you never thought you'd like but ended up loving?
YK11 and MENT. Yeah, those are not peptides. So I remember when MENT became popular, right? And YK11 became popular. I'm like, just another steroid that people try to promote because it's not on a banned list yet. And then I tried them. I did the research. Like, MENT has a boatload of scientific evidence on humans, like at least 20 studies on humans, unlike Tren. Tren has no human studies. So MENT has been extensively studied, and it looked very promising, quite anabolic. And then I tried it. Felt good, looked good. Blood work parameters didn't change much. Okay, the estrogen was a little bit crazy, but you can mitigate that with some sort of aromatase inhibition. And YK11 I wrote off because it was classified as a SARM. And then you do some research and you see that it's actually a steroidal SARM. It's a steroid. And then you see 5 studies. Okay, that's not very much, but it does look promising regarding the follistatin increase and the myostatin inhibition. It's like, fuck it, I'll try orally, sublingually, and injectable. Man, injectable YK11 is the shit. It's the same hardness, same strength, same fullness, same density as Superdrol, but none of the CNS destruction or the liver destruction. So I haven't run Superdrol since. I just inject the YK11.
Wow.
And I prefer it over Anavor now because Anavor always gave me a little bit acid reflux, but YK11 doesn't change my liver enzymes or give me acid reflux.
Really, at all?
No.
Even after
6 weeks, dude, nothing. After 6 weeks, my joints feel a little bit dry, but it kind of limits it. So I feel my elbow, but I also get stupid strong on it. So you go from like 100 kilo overhead dumbbell extensions, 2 arms, obviously, to 130s in this little 6 weeks.
Interesting. Were you taking any antioxidants during that time?
Of
or
course, I'm
anything?
always on antioxidants.
I guess I'm trying. Mike used YK11, I think, for 6 weeks.
Which Mike?
He said his CRP went up to 20 and then came off the YK and used all the antioxidants and everything, and it went back to 1.
But it's that injectable?
Yeah.
So it could be the super solvents that they use, but it suspends in MCT oil just fine. So the sources I work with, they all use MCT oil.
Okay.
And but yeah, if you have YK11 in a glycol or PEG, polyethylene glycol, 300 or 400 or even migliols, then your CRP can go up. Like the weird thing is, I took oral epicatogen, and that raised my CRP to 27.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why. There's only one company or 2 companies that made it, so I got it from the most popular, most reputable company, and I took it for 2 weeks or 4 weeks, and I got some response out of it, some anabolism. And I do my blood work, like, why is my CRP so high? And I stopped the epicatogen. I had like 10 capsules left, and I stopped the epicatogen, and my CRP came down to baseline. I add the epicatogen back in, and my CRP went up. I have no idea why. So some compounds are just not meant to be taken if you responded terribly to it. But with the injectable YK11, I suspect it's just super solvent.
Okay, cool.
And I made an entire deep dive on that on my channel, why you should avoid super solvent.
So if you do react well to YK, then do you think it's pretty effective to use for your off season in order to get in some
Yeah, like the last
mass?
6 weeks. So normally we do like 2 weeks of Superdrol or 4 weeks of Anadrol. The problem with Superdrol is that it makes you feel toxic, fucks with your liver enzymes, and 2 weeks is not enough to really set new PRs. Anadrol 4 weeks is good, but it crushes your appetite. And at the end of the off season, obviously you need your appetite to facilitate the strength. And YK11 seems to be injectable at least 6 weeks before your joints kind of tell you to go fuck yourself. About 6 weeks, you could put in a lot of progress and gain a lot of muscle mass.
Cool.
Last time I used it was 4.5 weeks, and then my elbows were a little bit creaky and my knees were a little bit creaky, but I could still train. But I just ran out. So I was like, okay, my vial is empty. I don't have any more. I'm going to stop.
What was your dose again?
30 milligrams.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to run 50 milligrams next time.
Did you do it pre-workout?
No, just sub-Q in the morning.
In the
Doesn't
morning.
seem to have an immediate effect. Like oral Anavar or oral Superdrol or Anadrol, those have an immediate effect. They call that non-genomic effect, where it stimulates your central nervous system and then you get a pump and increased strength right away. But I took oral and sublingual and injectable YK11 pre-workout, and it didn't make a difference versus once per day administration.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Cool.
Well,
See you next time.
yeah.
See you next time. This is what the fifth one that we do. We just do it every couple of months, man. Just show up, answer questions, and shoot the shit with Niall. It's always fun to talk to you, man.
Yeah, I'm super down. Everyone else is too.
Yeah, it's like the Vigorous X Transparent collaboration.
Someone had one question though, and I have to ask you this before you go. But
Okay.
they were asking you. The kid Frankie asked, "What is your favorite and most memorable rave you've been to?"
Ooh. I think the last Mysteryland before it went to the day. So this was at the Ruigoord, I think. No, the Ruigoord was during the day. This was in some forest.
That sounds awesome.
It was seven or 8 stages. Some
Damn.
like, old school hardcore, like a Tunnel of Terror kind of thing.
Oh.
So it's just hardcore. And we had hardstyle, techno, just regular dance music. This is before EDM stuff, right? So this is when I was 19 or 21.
Holy shit.
And I had 2 cigarettes, packs of Gauloise. That's the cigarettes I smoked. I was a party smoker. One of them was full with cigarettes. The other one was full with drugs. So I put them like in my bag, and I removed the cellophane at the bottom, carefully slid it up, put all the drugs in there, and put like a little bit of the filters at the top in case they wanted me to open it. Carefully slid it back and then glued it at the bottom, so it looked like a closed cigarette pack. So they inspected me, checked my opened cigarette pack, and then all the drugs were in the closed one. So they didn't. I said, "Oh, it's closed. This is fine. Just go in." So I had like MDMA and coke and fucking mushrooms or whatnot with me. I was so fucking high, dude. Just walking through the forest. I think after 1 hour, I lost my friends that I went with. And then I just made new friends. You know, you want to go here? Yeah, sure. Just hang out here, sitting on some bean bags somewhere in the forest, listening to music, taking a couple puffs of weed and getting like fucking acid trips. And man, this was fucking wild.
That's hilarious, bro.
So wild. And then I think it lasted until like 9 in the morning.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah, that was one big trip. Yeah, the music was great, but it's probably also the drugs that make the music great.
I mean, one of my favorites was Electric Forest in 2018, which was a very similar experience. Yeah. So I can get it.
You just feel so grounded, man, when you're surrounded by trees when you're high as fuck. I don't know, were you high as fuck or what?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was my first acid trip ever.
Oh, right. In the forest.
First acid trip was at Electric Forest.
How many micrograms did you take?
I thought I could see sound.
Yeah.
And hear
At
colors.
least at 200 mics.
Oh, my goodness.
Especially when it's like you're in the forest and the trees are bottom lit, right? And it's waving a little bit. Where am I? The trees are breathing. I'm one with the hilarious. And you have the techno music in the background. Yeah, dude. Oh my God. Everybody's dressing. What kind of outfit did I have?
I thought I transported back to the era of the Beatles.
Yeah, something like that. I think I had the weirdest outfit too. And then you meet people and I like your outfit. You're looking at them. And like, I like your outfit too. Actually, I like everything about you. You're so cool. Yeah. Did I get laid that day? No. I was too high.
That'd be impressive, bro.
Yeah. When you're super high, you can't do it, you know. Bro, hooked up.
Fuck. Well,
yeah, good times, man. I miss those days.
Yeah.
I got it out of my system.
Same. I miss those days too. It's almost like I'm going to do that this weekend. Anyways, has your my last question changed? Your answer to my last question that I asked you and Tanner? Or nah, it's the same. If you were to disappear from the world tomorrow.
Oh, I hope you got something out of it for the audience. I hope you learned something. Yeah. That was the goal. I think that's what I answered the last time, right? I mean, my goal was to give back on YouTube, and I'm sorry that I have a family now and I can't give back as much, but I do my best. But that's a little bit more important to me than giving back to people I don't know. I got to raise the next generation.
I think that's an amazing goal, dude.
Yeah.
I think what you're doing.
Thank you.
I look forward to that part of my life.
I'm trying to break the mold because I didn't have much guidance. Hence all the recreational drugs and the partying. So I hope whatever I put out in the world that it was beneficial to people. And if I leave the world tomorrow, then that will be my legacy for the public. I'll just try to do 10 times better for my daughter, which is a very high standard. What I hope, it's like, you know, at one point you realize that your parents are retards, right? It happens when you're like 16 or 18. These people are fucking retarded. Or that's at least what I realized. So my goal is that when my daughter realizes that, that she'll be so far in life that I can have peace with it. You know? I said, my dad is a fucking, he took all these steroids and only built this much financial situation, and, you know, and she'll realize that, I don't know, when she's 25. And then I hope she'll be so far in life that I'm like, yeah, we left you and, you know, we did pretty okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's the ultimate goal.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on, bro.
Anytime, bro. Talk to you soon.
Yeah.
Let's go eat.
Let's go. Later, bro. Yo, boys. Love you guys.
Peace out.